1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. Sure you all are aware that there has been an obvious turn in the Carly Russell story. She was lying, and her attorney has admitted that she has done so. And I typically don't want to give a lot of attention to a story like this, but I believe that there are things that we can extract from it. There are a lot of people that go missing. There are a lot of African Americans that go missing. There are a lot of black women and children that go missing every single day. And we know that they don't get nearly as much coverage, or the coverage isn't favorable. It's always, well, what did they do to find themselves missing? You guys know that stigma and that patina still sticks on us and our people. I also know that you have about 72 hours to find somebody that's missing. That's particularly true for a child. If you find a missing child within 72 hours, the likelihood you will find that child alive is fair. It's not 100%, but it's fair. On that 73rd hour, those statistics become incredibly grim. So if a child goes missing, you don't find them within 3 days, it's more of a recovery than a rescue. When she did this hoax, and I got another story here written by, I don't know who this woman is. It appears in the Griot. Monique Judge says, Carly Russell doesn't owe us anything. She just has to have a conversation with the investigators, but she doesn't owe the public a darn thing. Oh, yes, she does. Somebody is not going to get their child back because resources were diverted to look for her and not for a legitimately missing child. She owes all of us. The other thing she owes us is a level of decency. And I know that you guys don't like this, especially younger generations. I don't know if they feel this same heavy burden of responsibility, but black behavior, and they scrutinize us, but we know this. I'm almost 50 years old, and it's just been a part of my life and how I live my life. I know that what I do is reflective of the people that look like me, even the people that I don't know. I could do something stupid, and that can diminish the image of a black person in Seattle, Washington, or Sacramento, California, or Schenectady, New York. What we do is reflective of all of us, and I know that we don't like that responsibility. In fact, we hate it because it seems like it diminishes our independence. And here's the thing, black people should be free to screw up all the time. We should be able to mess up and do stupid stuff and break the law and be disrespectful and have road rage incidents and not have that be used to judge other black people. But that is not the world in which we live in. If anything, you think it would promote a better, a smarter collective responsibility, knowing that my actions can impact all of you. And especially with this particular job that we do here at 1017 The Truth, sitting here in the catbird seat. There's a whole bunch of places I wanted to go and I didn't go. It's a whole bunch of stuff in the last 11 years that I wanted to do and I didn't do it because the risk was too high. And if I got in trouble, black radio host does X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, it would discredit all of us that are in this industry. And I'm a little upset about that because a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to do, but I don't do it. Because I'm very, very concerned about our image. The more credible we appear, the better it is for us to get proper treatment, the further our policy initiatives go, etc. But every now and again, you'll have a black person making the news for the wrong reasons. And there's black people doing really wonderful things every single day. We're probably somewhere curing cancer. I mean, a white person's going to steal it, and then they're going to promote it. But I'm just saying, we do wonderful, incredible things every day. We accomplish monumental feats, but you have to look at our monumental feats that we accomplish through a lens, through a context of hatred, of a history of oppression. redlining, low wages, high unemployment, high incarceration, low levels of education, and we still do wonderful things. That never gets any credit. Now, I do my best when we do wonderful things to talk about it here, and I know my colleagues do as well, but it will never shine brighter than the stupid things some African American folks do. Let's see what we got here. Officials from the Hoover Police Department held a press conference yesterday to confirm what so many on social media have speculated since last week about the mysterious 49-hour disappearance of Carly Russell. Turns out it truly was all a hoax. At the very least, where did she go? I'm just wondering where she went. It's hard to hide nowadays. There's so many cameras all over the place. How do you hide? Who was harboring this fugitive from her boyfriend? I think that's who she was running from, apparently. Where'd she go? And is that person going to be held responsible? I'd imagine because she's an African-American woman, they're going to throw the proverbial book at her. They're probably going to charge her with something. And let's be clear. Let's not go soft on her, right? I'm under the impression there's probably some mental illness going on. She's probably dealing with some stuff. But what's interesting is we're all dealing with stuff. I can't run away. Y'all saw me running down Wisconsin Avenue. I can't. Sherwin, where you going? It's not Sherwin. It's not me. I'm running away. It's not me. I'm chasing after a white kid on the freeway. Leave me alone. I'll be back in 49 hours. We all want to run away, but you can't run away. And you can't get national attention when you run away. And I feel bad for the people that came to her aid that were like, no, we have a black woman that's missing and we got to mobilize all the support that we can. And the local media that is finally, not here, but other places in the country that are trying to do right when black women and children. Nobody cares when black men go missing, so I'm not even going to bring us up. But there's some national media that probably realizes, like, yo, when white women go missing or white children go missing, I think, did they ever find John Benet Ramsey? Y'all remember her? They looked for that white girl for 30 years. I think her parents killed her, actually. So there's national media and local media that said, no, we're going to do right this time. We're going to mobilize all the resources. We're going to put her picture up. We're going to talk about her on the 12 o'clock news and the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock news because we want this woman to be found. So, post George Floyd, a lot of things have changed. We've looked at where we haven't given some African Americans a fair shake, or we've been just outright disrespectful toward them and the coverage that we get. So there's some media that said, no, we're going to be different with this one. We're going to mobilize all the resources and we're going to try and find her. And then we come to find out it's a hoax. That further damages our credibility as African Americans. It shouldn't. We should just look at this as an isolated incident of a woman who has some issues, that has some problems. But whenever we try and make some progress in achieving fairness, like there's always got to be something like this, unless she's got a really compelling story. Maybe she was abducted by aliens. I would like to hear that. We've heard people being abducted by aliens every so often. Maybe this is an actual case of it. And if that is what happened, well, then I would give her a little more sympathy. But until then, she probably should pay a price, at least the price of how much it costs to mobilize a search effort. Police are working overtime. I'd imagine you had other authorities involved, maybe some state authorities. Don't know if the feds got involved. That stuff costs money. Wouldn't she at the very least be responsible for the costs incurred to taxpayers to look for her while she was on some kind of excursion without her wig? And why would she leave her wig behind? Where did she go that she wanted to be wigless? Or maybe that she wouldn't get recognized. I suppose. It's not funny. Quote, my client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping July 13, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. Why rope an innocent, non-existent baby into this? My client did not leave. Exactly, Kyle said the white baby. Because if it was a black baby, we just would have figured, well, black kids aren't ever really kids, so that black baby was probably just ran out of gas, just walking down the freeway, going to a gas station because black children don't exist because we're born adults. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident. This was a single act done by herself. Our client was not with anyone or at any hotel with anyone for the time she was missing. Durzis read from the statement. Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis is the one that read that statement from Carly Russell's attorney. So I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I mean, I guess I have to use it as an example. And if any of you out there are thinking about going missing because you need attention or because you want everyone to fawn over you and you're thinking about leaving your wig in the car and just disappearing for 49 hours and going to a Super 8 or wherever you're going, we would rather you not do it because you are taking time and resources away from people who are legitimately missing. Got a few other things that I want to talk about today. I think I'm going to poke the bear a little bit. You know, it's an interesting situation when I ask African Americans how we feel about migrants and immigrants, and I oftentimes don't like what I hear. I don't like how we talk about other folks who are currently in a situation that our ancestry found themselves in, yet for some reason we as black folks that have been here for a very long time, and quite honestly, if you're a black person, depending upon when your family not even came north, when your ancestry came to America, we have been in this country longer than the Europeans that arrived through different waves of migration. So we're kind of detached from the immigrant story, especially because it is our labor, whether forced or wage, that has created the economic foundation that we call the United States. But when we see people in our situation, our inability to see ourselves in them is troubling. And it's even more troubling. I'm about to sound like Al now when it's coming from a Christian. Didn't Jesus, a God, say something about the least of these? How you treat them is how you treat me or something like that? Okay, Carrie, once she hears that, Carrie will probably run into the studio. But I don't like how we talk about migrants because we make up these stories. And all the stories that we make up about them come from white people. They're going to come over here and take your job. Not if you can't speak English. Not if you don't have a modicum of education. You're not going to take my job as a radio host. And if you do take my job as a radio host, still wearing wet clothes from crossing the Rio Grande, well, then I wasn't a very good radio host to begin with. I'm going to take a break, come back, and run my mouth for the next couple of hours. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. The award-winning 101.7 The Truth team is hiring. We are currently seeking a motivated individual who is looking to grow their career with The Truth as a marketing manager. If you have a passion for coordinating events, designing and executing sales marketing campaigns, developing teammates, and growing the Truth brand, then this is the career opportunity for you. Good Karma Brands offers full benefits with medical, vision, dental, and PTO. To join the home of Milwaukee Black Talk, visit goodkarmabrands.com/careers. That's goodkarmabrands.com/careers. Good Karma Brands is an equal opportunity employer.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
July is Thrive Through Month for Good Karma Brands, and we are proud to share an encouraging story from The Truth's General Manager, Cherie Harris, of thriving through her breast cancer diagnosis.
What I knew about breast cancer before I was diagnosed, that I know that is tumors and that lies in your body, and it can metastasize, which means it can spread throughout your body if you don't take care of it right away. So being proactive and having a mammogram every year, whether you're 35 or 40, is key. What I know about it now is that there's there's different types of breast cancer. It's not just one type. And what I have is triple negative breast cancer, which is very aggressive, one of the most aggressive, and it comes in different stages. So understanding what that is, understanding the stages, just because something is stage 1 doesn't mean it's less harmful than stage 4. It's all about your care and the response to that care. And when you understand that, you'll be in a better space.
Has anything surprised you from either what you knew then versus what you know now? Were you surprised by anything?
Yes, I was surprised. I mean, everybody knows when you have breast cancer, the first thing people think about, I'm going to lose my hair. That is the least of your worries. We need to understand is that you're going to lose living cells in your body. You're going to have chemo brain, which means it's going to harder remember things, form synthesis, simple synthesis. You're going to sleep a lot. You can't control that. Your eating habits are going to change, so you got to be mindful of that. There's a lot of things I was unaware about. Nausea is one of those things as well, but can be controlled, and you should not be afraid of that. So just understanding like the adversities of your care, which means, you know, the side effects and how to counteract those side effects, which means how to prevent it, I think the outcome would be better. And that's what worked for me.
Support our Thrive Through initiative by joining the 1017 The Truth team on July 27th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Broken Bat Brewery in Milwaukee for a breast cancer research fundraiser. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Talking about the disappearance and then the subsequent reappearance of Carly Russell. How it's just embarrassing. Now, I don't know the entire story. Maybe there's some real compelling reason as to why she decided to run away from who knows what for 49 hours. But we lose credibility when these kinds of things happen. And I would like to consider this just an isolated incident, but there's going to be somebody somewhere that's going to say, oh, this is just what black women do when they go missing, quote unquote. They're just joking around and trying to get attention. Like, someone is going to lose their life because somewhere in this nation there's going to be a diminished effort to find one of us when we legitimately go missing. I just want to know where she went and what she was doing. Doesn't she owe us that at the very least? Now, she's going to be fodder for us to discuss and to talk about and probably to laugh at for some time. But once all that passes, we have to understand the seriousness of this. And like, I don't want to be like extra scrutinizing of black behavior, but I have to be. Because I know that we are all judged based upon the things that we do as individuals. And again, I'm admitting that it's not fair. But if that is the furthest our unfairness goes, I'm actually okay with that. Because I think there needs to be a level of collective responsibility. Because if you're a middle-class black person or a poor black person or a wealthy black person, we oftentimes face the same kinds of barriers. We face the barriers at different levels. And I don't want anyone to think that if you achieve some level of success, which is very subjective because your level or idea of success may be different from mine, et cetera, we find out no matter how high up that ladder you climb, it could be in sports, it could be the corporate world, the entrepreneur world, whatever it is, you will find that there is something there preventing you or you're not being treated the same as everybody else. We believe that a certain level of success alleviates or eliminates oppression. Now, I figured out a scenario where a black person can completely absolve themselves from the oppressive systems in the United States, the institutional stuff and the structural stuff. But it would take a couple $1 million and about 1,000 acres in Montana where you live on a self-made grid in an unincorporated town. Then you're good. You got cattle. You can eat beef. You have chickens. If you live that life where you're just not involved with the outside world and you stay far, far away from politics and you have your own little life on a 1,000-acre ranch in Montana, then you might be okay. Maybe. But that's a stretch for most people. Most people are not going to be able to achieve that. The other misconception I want to clear up, and I'm going to get back to your girl, Carly Russell, is we erroneously believe as African Americans who far too many of us are political novices. Far too many. policy has done more to level the playing field than probably anything else. And yeah, marching and protest. Like, I don't protest and march anymore. I don't do. I'm too old. My knees hurt. And I believe that my voice travels further than my feet ever could. My voice against some of the systems that harm us goes further and lasts longer and is more durable than me walking for a couple of miles. However, I digress. We believe that when we have a black elected official or just black executives all over the place, that automatically conditions are supposed to change for us. Our kids are going to read better. They're going to graduate from high school with honors. Our wages are going to go up. Our job opportunities are going to flourish. Our college admissions is going to, shoot through the roof. We actually believe that. So we see black elected officials and then we witness the same deplorable conditions. What do? We blame the black elected officials. And here's the thing. It's perfect that we blame them. It is perfect. It was orchestrated. It was constructed that we blame black leadership. You know who injects that into ourselves? White supremacy. They want us to think that we are failures even in leadership positions. Because guess what? That means that we just gonna default back to them. You know how tired I am of having these discussions with folks? Well, we got black aldermans. We got some black mayor. We had a black Mandela Barnes. Where's Mandela? Has anyone seen him? Kyle, tell me that's not true. Mandela
Yeah, he
Barnes?
did a TikTok video of the Steve the Stoner.
I don't know what that is. Steve the Stoner.
The dance that Gruber did this weekend.
Oh, God, I saw that. That hurt to watch. Gruber did, I call it the Milwaukee dance. Oh, it's so bad. Shout out to David Gruber. No, we like David Gruber. We love him very much. Okay, shout out to David, but he was on TikTok. I guess you got to be where the young people are at. I have a TikTok account, but I don't do stuff. Like, I just have one. Like, I posted, like, I have videos. You got to put something on your TikTok account. But I don't do weird stuff. I don't do dance moves and choreography and whatnot. That's weird. So whenever we see black leadership, and smart people will say this kind of stuff, like, oh, how come stuff ain't getting better for the black community? Can we just be practical just for a moment, please? Just for a moment. Then we can go back to being impractical all day long. You think that white people that want to maintain their superiority and their supremacy, because they're looking out for their children. They want to make sure that systems are in place so their children and their grandchildren can be successful and not have to compete with us. That's what's on their minds from day one. When they meet their future spouses, that's what's on their mind. They're going to get married, they're going to have a family, and they want to make sure that their children are taken care of, meaning their children's life and the trajectory of their children is free from competition from Mexicans, from immigrants, those blacks taking, affirmative action, all this other stuff. They want to make sure that their children are good. So you mean to tell me that system, okay, that mindset, that mode of thinking of white supremacy. And again, this is not individual white people. This is the system of white supremacy in which black people drink just as much as anybody else does. You mean to tell me that just because we get some black elected officials, you mean to tell me that the grip of white supremacy is going to say, oh, just let them have some progress. They elected a black county supervisor. Oh, drats. White supremacy is defeated. No, ladies and gentlemen, here's how you need to look at it. And this goes for everybody. The more progress we make, the better we do, the more we advance, the smarter we get, the more barriers we break down, the more rooms we are in, the more tables and committees we sit on, the more racist they get. So when you see black leadership, just know that they are doubling down with their covert operations to make sure that leadership doesn't spread. They discredit us, they defame us, they make it more difficult. That's the game. So if I hear one of y'all saying, how come Milwaukee's so messed up? We got all these black elected officials. Milwaukee, quite honestly, might be messed up because we have black elected officials. They double down on their racism when they see progress. Let me give you the best example I can give you, then I'm going to take a break. Barack Obama did real good. Now, some of you will say he didn't do enough for black people. Not having that discussion. Been having that discussion for, what year is this? Better than 10 years, like 15 years. Barack Obama got elected 16 years ago? No, that ain't right. Wait, this is 2000. Yeah, 15 years ago. My goodness, that was a long time ago. Well, he started running 16 years ago. And so I've been having that discussion of what Barack Obama did or didn't do for black people. Like, it's not ever going to work like that, where we get a black person and they're going to just all of a sudden our bank accounts are going to flourish and all of our credit scores are going to be above 800. That's not how that works. Barack Obama was a part of an institution, which is the presidency, which was also an institution that started wars, that dropped atomic bombs, and it also maintained institutions of slavery for longer than it didn't. So he was just sitting in that seat. The presidency doesn't change all that much. Think about the presidency like the Constitution. We got 27 amendments to the Constitution. Constitution hasn't changed in a very long time. Neither has the presidency. Now, there's been some evolution, not a lot. Probably one of the most significant evolutions in the U.S. presidency has been the USA Patriot Act. It's an acronym. It allows basically espionage powers of the federal government on its citizens here in the United States. Probably the most fundamental change in power for the executive branch. Other than that, the presidency has remained largely unchanged. The Supreme Court, largely unchanged. Congress, House of Representatives, and the U.S. Senate, largely unchanged. So when you get black people in those positions, do not think that they can shapeshift and contort those elected positions to benefit black people. No, they're the same seats and the same positions that were used to subjugate black people. Just because you put a black person in that spot doesn't mean they can do a whole bunch of stuff for us. This is just fundamental thinking, because I just get real tired of people saying, oh, we got black elected officials, they ain't doing nothing. They're actually doing a lot. They're fighting racism from their different perches and their different viewpoints. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. If you don't download the Truth app, you clearly are deficient. You should download it. I'm also on YouTube. I'm wearing a salmon-colored shirt today. Kyle saw my shirt. He thought I was going to go interview with another radio. He says, what you got going on today? Kyle, I ain't going nowhere. I burned through all the radio stations in this town, so this is it for me. I ain't got nowhere else to go. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The ultimate family-friendly concert experience is back and all new for 2023. The Kids Bop Never Stop live tour is coming your way, so get ready to sing and dance. August 8th, 7:30 at the State Fair Main Stage. On sale now at wistatefair.com. So come have the best time ever at the Kids Bop Never Stop live tour. See you there. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snipe. Sal Frelick hit his first career home run, and Christian Yelich knocked in the game's winning run as the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Cincinnati Reds 3-2 on Monday night over at American Family Field.
Coming back. Yelich bounces one to right. It's a base hit. Perkins around third. Here he comes. He'll score. And the Brewers win.
With the win, the Brewers now move 1.5 games ahead of the Reds in the National League Central Division standings. Milwaukee and Cincinnati are right back at it tonight with the first pitch of 7:10. Coverage gets underway over on 620 WTMJ beginning at 6:30. The Green Bay Packers will begin a new era this week as the team's veterans are scheduled to report today to Titletown in preparation for the team's first training camp practice on Wednesday. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212. 1017-833-212-1017. Marvin says, good morning, Sherwin. My suspicions were heightened when all the photos of Carly showing her missing appeared to be glamour shots. Then the interview by her parents didn't help. I didn't see the interview by her parents. I heard a little bit of it, a little discussion with Telly Hughes and Bailey Coleman this morning that her parents did a suspicious kind of interview, but what do you expect? The parents are going to defend their child. But I did not see the interview, and I'm glad I didn't. But ultimately, like with her situation, it just diminishes the credibility of anybody that goes missing. Women in particular. So other than race, we don't like women in this country. Not like we should like them, right? Kamala Harris. Okay, so if Joe Biden dies, I don't want him to, but I mean, the man is past life expectancy, and I'm not rushing him to the grave. I got to try and get 4 years out of him. Some kind of way, hook or crook. So if Kamala Harris becomes president, it's because Joe Biden is unalive. I don't know if she could run a national presidential campaign. I don't think that she would get primaried. Not by a serious Democratic rival. And what year would that be? 2028? Man, the years are running away fast, aren't they? I don't know if she's respected. And here's the thing. I'm probably being overly harsh on her because subconsciously I know that women don't get a fair shake in life. And also, politically, I don't know. I think we see women as different. But her personality is one that's interesting. It doesn't seem to be very. Now, let me take this. Let me be clear. Kamala, I like you because you like me. I interviewed her once. They called back, wanted to do another interview with me a couple days later. So how could I not like her? I like her. And if I given the opportunity, I suppose I would vote for her. But that's personal because I like her because she likes me. But I don't know if the rest of the country would feel the same way. I keep going back to Hillary Clinton, not because she is Hillary Clinton, but I think Hillary Clinton represented an anti-woman sentiment that exists in this country. And the anti-woman sentiment that exists in this country, I mean, Carly Russell is going to be, she's a part of it now too, the anti-woman sentiment. Women have anti-women sentiment. You know how competitive women are? I mean, I see it. Here's where you see it best. And here's where I think it stems from. And then it kind of spreads out into society in general. First of all, women have lost a very fundamental right to their own privacy. And they may lose it nationally, which is, it's hard for me to wrap my head around that, because if they are going to attack something like Roe, and I know it was controversial, but it was weird because the controversy was with men for the most part. You don't really hear a whole bunch of women saying, yeah, abortion is bad. No, women, all sorts of women, conservative women, young women, old women say, no, I may not have an abortion as a woman. I may have my baby, but I don't want to deny another woman that right. So this all came from men. But here's where I really see, and as I get older, I see it more, because now my friends and the people in my social circles, their children are older now, right? Like I'm the age, and my friends are now the age that I remember our parents being when we were kids and teenagers. It's the weirdest thing ever. Weird. And I see the interactions between mothers and sons and mothers and daughters. Now, I know this is probably just my own anecdotal evidence, but there's something real to it. I believe that mothers love their sons more than their daughters, especially as their daughters start to get older and become adults and become young women. It's like this, I've seen women, mommies, mothers, celebrate their sons' failures. Like, oh, that's okay, honey. High school will always be there. Mommy loves you. Are you hungry? Gonna make your favorite meal. What do you want? You want me to fly to India and get some special saffron spices for that rice you like? Mommy will be back in 3 days. Daughter walks in the room. Oh, hi, Cindy. Hi, Mom. So you're going to wear that, Cindy? You look fat. That's how they treat their daughters. It's so awful. And and I think daughters internalize that. Now, I'm not asking any of y'all to call in and co-sign any of this, but if there's a woman, it's usually a single woman, because the dads can kind of balance it out a little bit, because the dads will love on the daughters more. The sons and the dads, once the son gets a little bit older, then they can have a relationship based on them both being men, so it's different. But the affection that is missing from mother to daughter is supplemented father to daughter, right? That's what I see. But if there's no dad, then I think that love of the daughter is missing and turns into hate. Another thing that I see is that when you're involved with somebody, personally, professionally, whatever, especially in a relationship, you're not dating that person. You're dating their childhood. You're dating all the abandonment issues and the self-esteem issues. All that's what you're dating as an adult, unless that person gets that stuff resolved. All right, let's talk to who we got. Miss Griffin. Let's talk to Miss Griffin. Miss Griffin, you're on the new 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Hughes, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I got to let you know who I am. I talked to you when you were on the other radio station. And I remember, my name is Miss Griffin, and I told you that the seniors didn't have anything to do. They're closing down most of the senior activities. Because me and your friend that calls all the time, her name is Miss Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Miss Rose, we belong to the interfaith program down at the Clinton Road Center. But they closed that down, honey, and we had about 75 seniors, black. We had a grandmother program, and then we had the senior program. It was, both of them was, I guess, under the state. We were volunteers, and honey, lady from Waukesha took that program away from us. We had about 75 members between the grandmothers and the senior ladies that would go in and help other seniors. I mean, they took that program away from us. It was about 75 of us.
Well, what should we do? We got to find y'all another program.
Well, when there's too many of us, they know how to shut it down.
What about Washington Park? Don't they have something going on in Washington Park?
Washington Park still have their thing going on. They do. But by me being here on 2nd Street, I was so close to, I was so close to the Center for Seniors down there. We had so many activities. Mr. Hughes, I worked in the shop program where they would redo furniture, and then we had the ceramic program. I made so many ceramics. The state closed that down. I don't know. They took all our instructors away from us, so they had to close it down. And I got 3 questions I want to ask you. I feel so bad about the libraries being closed down, because I used to go to the libraries just to watch the other kids come in and get on the computer. So, and I can understand what you're saying about it was just being used because you had to pay so much money to keep it up. I understand that. But I feel so bad about the libraries. They're just closing them down, because I used to go there. I worked out of Frederick Hospital when I first moved here from Illinois. I came here in 90, so I've been here since 90. And now I'm here on 2nd Street at the Mount Zion Senior Program. But I had to tell you about it upset me so bad when I saw that the library was torn down on the Locust. I was just, oh, no.
Oh, they're going to rebuild it. They're not tearing it down permanently. They're going to rebuild it. It's going to have some apartments. They're doing a whole big old brand new development. In fact, when they rebuild that King Library, you're going to be very impressed with it. They're just rebuilding it, that's all. They ain't closing it permanently. It might be closed right now, but they're going to have it all new and shiny for you in a year or more.
Okay, now with you. I love the news and the information that you give us, but are we doing anything? I know we talk, but are we doing anything? When Farrakhan called that thing for that million-man march, that's what we need to do. We need to have a million black folks march. Maybe we'll get things together. But a little group over here and a little group over there, we all need to get together. So I'm 91. I ain't going to be in no group in a couple of years. I'm getting out of here.
Well, but I appreciate you calling. Maybe you're right. We are doing all this talking. I mean, I try and mobilize people and engage people and find an issue.
We are getting the information. I love your information, man. I mean, God has really blessed you, man. Why don't you run for something?
No.
That's what I want to ask.
Oh, no. Can't do that. No, ma'am. I might run from something. I'm not going to run for nothing. No, I can't do it. Can't do that. Mm-mm.
You know too much what's going on, don't you?
Yeah, I know how the sausage is made, and I don't want to be involved with that, because on radio I can say whatever I want. Once I get elected, I got to say what they want me to say. But I appreciate your call, Miss Griff. You need to check in with me every now and again now.
I listen to you every day. So I'm grateful that I talked to you this morning. Thanks so much.
Me too. Appreciate your call. That was a very nice call. You know, we got Miss Rose online too, and she'll probably cuss me out about something. So I'll take a break, come back, we'll talk to Miss Rose. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth, and we want you to join us for our inaugural Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School in Milwaukee. We're bringing the community together for a family festival that will have something for everyone. There will be live music, delicious food, financial resources, healthcare resources, and free haircuts for all kids. So mark your calendars for Saturday, August 12th to come out to our Truth Family Fest, sponsored by Ascension Wisconsin, Educators Credit Union, Hunger Task Force, and Associated Bank.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
Hello, I'm Tony Evers, the Governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. You have already made a most noble sacrifice. You shouldn't have to continue doing so. We are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's never easy to ask for assistance, but rest assured, we're here to help. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you. Call 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727. or visit vrapwi.com. On behalf of the state of Wisconsin, thank you.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I lost my 10-year-old daughter, Teresa, to COVID in just a few short days. Teresa was a healthy child who loved to dance. When Teresa got sick, I didn't think it was serious until she was rushed to the hospital. COVID and flu can be serious for anyone, but they're especially dangerous for communities of color. Please get your COVID and flu vaccines and stay up to date on all immunizations, because vaccines save lives.
To learn how to protect your family, visit vaccinateyourfamily.org/learn.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back. Let's talk to a patiently waiting Miss Rose. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning. I just gonna make this real quick. I have three quickies, and they're going to be real quick. The first one is dealing with when I was listening to the radio the other day. I heard this voice that sounded like mine. It turned out to be Cassie. Now I understood why that guy thought she and I were the same person, because there's a similarity to the sound of the voice. Only things I never understood a single thing she said. But and then number two, so as far as that the woman that had the problem with that they were talking about, that she owes us something. She owes us nothing.
Oh, Carly Russell.
What they do. Pardon?
You're talking about Carly Russell, the
Pardon?
woman that went missing for 49 hours?
Yes. I believe the government knew all about what was happening, and they were going to use this as a basis to cause a sidetrack to justify that how people are in our community. The people who think against us because of the one and charges of many is based on their mentality.
So wait, Ms. Rose, you think that Carly Russell's disappearance was a government conspiracy?
No, I think that it wasn't their conspiracy, but that was the way they keep tracking everything you say and do on the internet and everything, that it's easy for them to have something that rings a bell when they see something. And they can jump on the thing right away. I said I believe that it's not that it's a conspiracy, that they knew, they started following up on something that jumped in front of them. This isn't the first time that's happened as far as being ahead of the game. But the thing is, sometimes we ourselves are so naive that we think that everything is just not this or not that. I'm not that naive. I look at other factors, even though some people think I am naive because of the solutions that I give out. But the solutions are basic, simple, but nobody wants to utilize them because they are. And that's why when we say that the system of white mentality is to stop black progress, plain and simple. So we just have to change how the formula that we use for changing lemon to lemonade. The thing is, we don't do that when things happen. And when they change, we try to apply the same solution to a different problem and to the wrong problem. And this is why we're not moving anywhere. One of the reasons why we're not moving anywhere. Wasn't that quick enough?
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate your
Do you
call.
have any questions? Or?
No. You were very articulate and thorough. I got no questions, Your Honor.
Well, I do have a whole list of things I could have made it longer, but I'm not going to deal with them at this time.
All right. Thank you for keeping it brief.
Well, I still love listening to you. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Miss Rose.
Have a blessed one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Blessed day. Bye-bye. I just let her talk. I don't even know where I could have interjected in that. So what I deducted from that, quite honestly, a very brief conversation with Miss Rose, is that the government knew where Carly Russell was because they got a way to track her. And so they knew where she was. And if they knew where she was, they were just kind of like playing along, even though they knew where she was. And they're trying to use the whole scenario to discredit black people. That's a lot of effort to think that the town of Hoover, Alabama could just track a single person. But whatever, that's fine. That's interesting. Mr. Mahdi says, the radio is funny. Black folks believe anything. Great job, my brother. I don't know if, let's see. We are an interesting group of folk. When something is obvious, we try to make it a conspiracy. If something is less than obvious, where we don't have all the information, we don't have all the facts, or we turn our backs on science, then it's God. It's religion. Like it's spiritual. It's Jesus that does something. When it comes to things that we do, that we have real specific control over, things that we as black people can manipulate and we screw it up, like when we do dumb stuff, then we blame white people. I love that one because that's always a good excuse. But yeah, we are, I don't know. It all comes back to slavery though, doesn't it? I come to find out that y'all wash your chicken and that goes back to slavery. You know you're not supposed to wash your poultry, right? You're not, some of y'all put the chicken in the sink. You buy some chicken breast, you buy some chicken wings, some legs, and some thighs. And you put it in the sink and you wash your chicken. You're not supposed to do that. You run the water over your chicken. Because what that does is when the water hits the raw chicken and it splashes, you are contaminating the entire kitchen because little droplets of water can carry bacteria and salmonella all over the kitchen. The bacteria that you are trying to rinse, quote unquote, rinse off of your chicken gets destroyed during cooking. But during slavery, because we oftentimes got inedible parts of animals and rotted meat, slaves did wash and rinse certain parts of the pig and the cow, the ox, to remove like fecal matter. And that tradition maintained. Or if we got food that was rotting, they would rinse it underwater to try and take some of the rot off. It also explains why we heavily season our food to mask the taste of food that was discarded by the slave masters. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, some of y'all wash your chicken. Like water doesn't kill salmonella, but the droplets of water hitting the chicken and splashing all over your sink and all over your dishes will contaminate your entire kitchen. But I just find everything seems to go back to the traditions of slavery. So even though we want to say it was a long time ago, it very much, some of those traditions, which we can be very proud of because we semi-survived that institution, but everything essentially goes back to slavery. I do have a couple of things I want to mention about Ron DeSantis's support for this anti-woke curriculum in Florida. We'll talk about that in a second. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, during July, we want to celebrate the survivors of breast cancer and highlight their stories of fighting and thriving through their diagnosis. All month long, you will hear about the journey of our beloved General Manager, Cherie Harris, and how she thrived through her diagnosis. On Thursday, July 27th, we invite all of Truth Nation to join us at the Broken Bat Brewery, located in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward, as our hosts will serve as guest bartenders for the night. All tips and 10% of sales go to support the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Breast Cancer Care and Research Fund. 3rd Street Market Hall is downtown's latest first stop must stop destination, featuring 19 local food vendors, 2 bars, a patio, live music, and more. There's something for everyone at 3rd Street Market Hall.
Never miss a moment of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? Wish Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WishCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
The Age of Reason took place over 200 years ago. It was a time of amazing scientific and philosophical progress all over the world. Truth, reason, and tolerance thrived and even shaped the Constitution of the United States of America, the foundation of our democracy. But now those building blocks of America, of democracy, are under attack. In just 2 decades, big tech social media billionaires have allowed their platforms to roll back truth, facts, and tolerance, and fill the screens in our homes and in our pockets with lies and hate. Online disinformation and hate affect everything, everyone, everywhere. It splits us apart, hurts our children, polarizes our societies, and is literally leading to violence and terror in our communities. Lies and hate everywhere are a threat to all people, anywhere. Be a part of the change. Help defend the future of our democracy. Go to counterhate.com to learn more.
Dear Hero, thank you for donating plasma. I recently moved off the reservation, which meant a lot of stress, and that set a spiral of attacks. I take the plasma injections bi-weekly, and I haven't had any attacks since trying it. It's just gone. Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Learn more at hhs.gov/giveplasma. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Wow. Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So there's 2 radio shows. There's the one that I prepare to do. And then there's a radio show I have to be prepared to do. Because I have a bunch of stuff, right? I read stuff and I try and formulate a way to articulate it, which I have varying degrees of success with that. And then there's like the text messages where y'all just go in a whole nother direction. You know what's interesting? Because I can't read all the text messages that I receive, because if I did, I probably wouldn't be here much longer. But what's the most fascinating is how y'all talk about each other in the text messages. It's so funny. It really is. Like, some of y'all genuinely like one another. In those text messages I'll read. Some of y'all don't like each other. But I'm not here to start no mess. So I just find it interesting. So actually, let me read some of these text messages. I do want to talk about what's this here? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis doubles down on teaching Florida students that slavery benefited African Americans, claims it's rooted in whatever is factual. You know what? Y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna have to thoroughly explain it. That is not no. We didn't benefit from slavery because all the other stuff that comes with it. But we, black men, black women too, were skilled labor because we weren't just in the fields. Slavery sometimes required industrial work. Because if all the crops are in the ground, we didn't just chill till harvest. We built houses, roads, bridges, barns. We were blacksmiths, glass blowers. We knew every technical and trade skill that existed. We were the labor that created the infrastructure for the South, not just the agricultural infrastructure, the industrial infrastructure of the South. We had to, though. Like, we didn't have a choice. We were forced to learn these skills. And so after slavery ended, we kept our skills. And one of the root causes of the Civil War is the North was like, yeah, we're not going to have slaves up here. So the South, you can't have slaves down there, because the North was like, we're going to be an industrial country. We're going to make stuff and we're going to pay people wages. You can't buy and sell people, and we can't operate labor that way. We're going to organize the labor. The labor is going to be unionized. And that's the most productive economic modality for a nation. You can't have one part of the nation that's owning and buying and selling people and creating an industry out of that. You have another part of the country that actually has factories and industrial plants and manufacturing where you need actual human labor that you pay, because you get and extract more productivity out of someone that you pay versus someone that you require, okay? Require to work. So we fought a war. It was kind of about us, but not really. It wasn't about the souls of black people. It wasn't about that. It's about how are we going to proceed as a country, as an economic powerhouse that was basically colonized. How are we going to move together economically? So we had a bunch of skills when we left the South. And then we went north where all the industry was. And that's when we found the next institutional barrier, because wouldn't you think African-American men that were skilled labor would be welcomed in all of these factories and all of the trades that were available up north in Detroit and Gary and Chicago, in Milwaukee, and all throughout Ohio? Wouldn't you think that they would welcome us into their factories and their manufacturing plants? No. So that also goes back to the adage of, when African Americans see some level of accomplishment or success, or if we acquire a skill, the more racist the United States become, because they don't want us to progress, because they think that we will do to them what they did to us. We actually don't want to do that, surprisingly. I mean, every now and again, it depends on when you listen to Black Talk Radio. Sometimes we're like real mad at white people, like, oh, the whites are. But we just basically talk a bunch. Because if you take that same really super angry black person, and I know a bunch. Oh, I know some very angry blacks. They're somewhere right now just yelling. And they're usually older. They're very mad. Now, like, younger black people just get on social media and talk mess. Older blacks just say stuff out loud. But if you take a really angry black person, super mad. Like, oh, slavery and white people and racism, the police, and they're real mad. And put them in a room full of white people, and they're just as nice as anybody else. Like, oh, hello, everyone. Oh, hello. Oh, no, don't mind me. Just having my coffee. But a minute ago, they were mad. You put them in a room full of white people. They're like, oh, this is fabulous. All right, let's read these text messages. Madison says, all right, this was at 9:30. It's actually not bad. I'm only 36 minutes behind on my text messages. Madison said, and so earlier I was talking about how white supremacy still operates. I mean, it's redlining right now. It's operating at maximum speed. And the Jason Aldean song is a great example of it. Don't try that in a small town. White people are very territorial over what areas, what cities, what towns they still have that are still universally and uniquely white, especially in the South. So if there's still a small white town, like, they want to keep it that way. Because if a black man moves in with his white wife and they have 3 children, you have replaced 3 white children with 3 black ones. So that's why they're territorial. So that's why I think there's a song behind the song. There's hidden meaning or subconscious meaning behind the song. Read the lyrics if you haven't. It's all spelled out right there for you in black and white if you read the lyrics to try that in a small town. So they take these stereotypical things. They're all dog whistles. It's where a dog whistle is covert language, where you don't say N-word, N-word, N-word. You say stuff like welfare queen and, oh, you bunch of carjackers, you, and you robbers and thieves, and, you know, you anti-police people. So that's like the new N-word. They're a little bit more covert. White people understand that language, and black people need to understand it too, because they're talking about us. So they stereotype black people, and they look at the crimes that they think that we commit, And he puts it in the song. To try that in a small town, we're a bunch of good old boys. We protect our own. If you try that here, you won't even make it down the road. That's because they're afraid of losing more ground. That is why they are having this battle over a second congressional district in Alabama. Quarter of Alabama's population is black, but there's only one congressional district out of 7. Because they do not want African Americans representing 2 districts in the state of Alabama, which is more than fair. And what they're doing is the court ordered Alabama, just a real brief one on this, just so you can see the different ways in which white supremacy exists. It exists at every single level. So I don't want anyone to think after listening to this program that a successful black person or black people or a successful black business or company or conglomerate is not going to face racism anymore. Because they still own and control so much of the narrative and the resources that they can interject racism at every level up we go. There is racism and structural and institutional racism waiting for us. When you graduate from college, it's waiting for you. When you get your master's degree, there's racism that's waiting for you. Got your PhD? Don't matter. There's something that is waiting for you. They are very prepared for our success. And they know that they have to beat it back whenever they can. Otherwise, they'll lose this country even faster. That's why I get mad when the black folks got something to say about the migrants coming up here from the southern border. Them people don't mean no harm to us. What are they going to do to us? Feed us delicious enchiladas? Oh, no. How horrible. What, teach us Spanish? All black people need to know Spanish anyway. We all need to know Spanish. The only reason why we don't know Spanish is because we're damn lazy. Let me see. Todos los negros americanos necesito aprender español. I speak it, and I'm not that good with languages. I barely can speak the English language, but you need to know Spanish. Ain't gonna hurt you. Put it on your resume. You might get the damn job. All right, Madison says, why would white supremacy think like that when their entire race is thinning as a whole? They will no longer be the majority in about 30 years, I believe. That's exactly the point, Madison. If they know that they are dying, then that's why they're going to fight extra hard to maintain what they have. They're going to try and keep what they have. They may be the numeric population demographic minority, but they're still going to have all the money. It's just going to be money and wealth in fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer hands. That is why they are trying to cement this thing called minority rule. So when they are in the minority, they still will be able to rule. We got a conservative U.S. Supreme Court, conservative by 2 seats. It's 6-3. 41% of the people in this country are quote unquote Republican or conservative, but they control the House of Representatives. They control the U.S. Supreme Court and dozens of state government legislatures. And how they do it is with this thing called redistricting. It's an example of what they're doing in Alabama. That is racism in its highest form, even though it violates Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. So this thing called apportionment, right? That's why I want y'all to fill out your census, but you never fill out the damn census. Based upon population, we apportion congressional districts based upon demographic factors, data, who lives where, how many people we have, et cetera, because here's one thing that we know for sure. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. Human beings cost money. We use resources. We use public roads. We use public transportation. We use public utilities. It costs money. So every person that you have in a state, in a district, in a territory basically equates to about $1,000 in federal government resources. So like black people, when we don't fill out the census because we don't want the government to track us, they've known who you are since you were born, bucko. You got a social security number. You got a birth certificate. You actually have a document stating that you're alive. And then when you die, there's another document stating that you're dead. It's called a death certificate. So stop trying to hide from the government. You get a job, you pay taxes, you got to use your social security number right there. Got to show your birth certificate, got to show your passport, got to show your ID. They already know who you are. So be counted in the census so we can get resources. St. Joseph's Hospital almost closed because y'all didn't fill out the census. And then y'all got mad. Y'all had to get Vaughn Mays out there protesting. They're trying to close St. Joseph's because St. Joseph's serves a lot of people that do not have health insurance. But some of the allocation of money that we get in the census goes to health care. Right? St. Joseph's gets money from the federal government based upon the census population of the area surrounding the hospital. So if there's a certain number of people that live in that area, the federal government is going to allocate more money so St. Joseph's Hospital can stay open. Okay, good. Now I live in the St. Joseph's neighborhood. I'd be very mad if y'all closed my hospital because I'm a black man and we die from all sorts of stuff, and I need to be able to hobble on over to St. Joseph's and get life saved. Be real mad if my neighborhood is called St. Joseph's and ain't no St. Joseph's Hospital no more. Ridiculous. Why would white supremacy think that when their entire race is thinning as a whole, they will no longer be the majority in about 30 years? And then I said that's exactly why. Imagine how extreme you'd be if you found out you only had 3 months to live. You would do the most, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing the most. Why do you think that they banned abortion? They're trying to hang on to their numeric majority. But I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest for a second. They had a really good run for like 5 centuries. Columbus and them, you got Magellan, Columbus, Amerigo Vespucci, Vasco da Gama, the guys that circumnavigated the world looking for stuff to steal. They had a great run. All they did, they killed a bunch of people, they stole a bunch of land, stole a bunch of us, made a whole country, wrote it down, created a government, fought a couple of wars, kicked everybody else out, like they kicked the Spanish out. The French just sold us pretty much everything from Minnesota to Louisiana for not a lot, like $7 million. How much we bought Thomas Jefferson buy Louisiana Purchase for? I don't know, $48 or something. We got Alaska out of the deal, which doesn't even make any damn sense. Alaska is probably one of the most mineral-rich U.S. territory, if not territories on the entire planet. We got that for $14 or $38, not a lot of money. But no, the white folks had a really good run, and they don't want to give that up. They just have not prepared for the next phase of what America is going to be. It is going to be a multicultural democracy. This is like what it's supposed to be. All these different people from all these different places, Europe and Asia and India and Bangladesh and Pakistan and Syria and Iran and Iraq and China and Japan and all of the Koreas. There's 2 of them. All of the Vietnams. I think there's 1 Vietnam. There used to be 2 Vietnams, whatever. And they all come to America with different ideas, different solutions. And in their countries and their cultures where they are from, they had problems too, and they figured out how to solve those problems. So we bring all of those people together. Imagine that, from all over the world, that have all faced trials and tribulations and structural issues and infrastructure problems and energy problems, and they figured it out in their countries, and then they want to come and they want to bring it here so America can be this wonderful utopia. But it's old white men, most of whom who didn't get laid, are mad. No. Don't come over here and spread goodwill and good cheer and have us working together. What about us, white men? We just want to get laid and we can't get laid. Well, now, you know why they can't get laid? They're just angry all the time and old. That's what this whole thing is about. It's supposed to be. Imagine how beautiful this place would be if we looked at somebody who was different. We're like, oh, wow, I'm glad you're here. Tell me about you. Tell me about what your life was like. We're glad you're in America. Thank you for coming over here and trying to make this place better. Thank you for bringing over some of your solutions that your lineage and your ancestry and your culture have been working on for thousands of years, and you bring all of that institutional knowledge here. Thank you, person from India and from China and Japan and all over the place in Africa. Thank you for coming to America and making it better. But no, old white men, like white women need to have more babies. They need to have more. I mean, I can't get an erection, but I mean, I'm probably going too far. I had 2 80-year-old women call my show, and I'm over here talking about white men's wee-wees. I'm going to take a little break. Oh, look, and somebody's calling. Maybe it's a white man with a wee-wee. This is why I don't win awards. And it's my fault. It is. The show is called The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, we want to celebrate the survivors of breast cancer and highlight their stories of fighting and thriving through their diagnosis. To celebrate survivors, for a limited time only, we're selling specialty 1017 The Truth Thrive Through shirts. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to purchase our limited edition Thrive Through shirts supported by Obvious Shirts. All sale proceeds go to support the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Breast Cancer Care and Research Fund. To support this effort, you can visit 1017thetruth.com to buy a specialty Truth shirt and support the fight against breast cancer. At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hip-hop royalty Shaggy with Salt and Pepper.
Wasn't me. She even caught me on camera. Wasn't me. She saw the marks on my shoulder. Push it good. Push it. Push it real good.
Coming to the State Fair main stage, presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel, August 4th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now at wistatefair.com. Shaggy with Salt and Pepper, Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I don't even think about ever adding the comments I receive on the YouTube to our conversation. Creation Muse says a whole bunch. What do they say? Creation Muse on YouTube. If you go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, you can see me because we have 3 cameras in this studio. Creation Muse says, we flash a gun, we're criminals. They sweat guns, it's no problem. What does, quote, try that in our town imply? They will throw a welcome party. Creation Muse says, all the white people we have seen going to black concerts, have we ever really heard of black folks calling white people racial slurs? Like what happened with the black lady at the country concert? I think we just make fun of white people dancing. I don't get mad at them. They're just out there enjoying themselves, living their best lives, bumping into each other, giving each other concussions on the dance floor. This is why I say culture clashing is real. When Kanye said what he said, DEF CON, we know black people use words differently than others, but tend to be taken literally by the outsiders. Yeah, I've noticed that too. That is something that when we communicate, like we use hyperbole a lot. We exaggerate, we use everything to the extreme. They tend to be more literal in their communication. Like saying DJ Blank blew the spot. We know DJ Blank did not really blow anything up. Cindy B. Robertson says, contrary to the Madison's opinion, black people do not believe any or everything. All right. Well, that comes from the YouTube. I'm going to share this on my Facebook page. I had to start a new Facebook page a couple of months ago because my original 13-year-old Facebook page got disabled by the company. I'm so mad at that. I lost everything. I lost memories, conversations. Like all my friends that are dead, I can't add them again because it's dead. You know what I mean? I lost so much. So mad at Facebook. I guess there's ways you can get a disabled Facebook account back, but I'm not going through all that mess. I want to be away from it, quite honestly, but it's a necessary evil because social media messes up your dopamine. Man, it's not that I go to my dead friends' pages. It's just, they're gone. Now sometimes people post stuff on the pages like, hey, a memory or something. I can reminisce with friends about dead people.
There's a AI thing that you can talk to your dead friends now?
I ain't doing all that. That's a little too much. I'm just saying I had like memories and conversations with friends of mine that are now deceased. Like all those messages are gone. Yeah. So that stuff is gone. And like the anniversaries of their deaths and stuff, I want to be reminded that now I just got this old boring whack. It's like I'm not even credible anymore. People are like, oh, what do you do for a living? I host a radio show. Like, oh, I'll look you up on Facebook. 27 followers. They're like, his radio show sucks. He's just fat. That's what they say. All right, let me share this on my little weak Facebook page. All right, and send. So it takes like a screenshot of the video when I post the link on my Facebook page, and I'm rolling my eyes in the screenshot, which is par for the course for me. Bob, did you go to the Beyonce concert?
Hello, Sherwin. I was going to get to that. If you would allow me.
No, no. You're going to start with that. Did you go to the Beyonce concert?
Yeah, I heard Carrie went. Well, my niece was getting in the car as I showed up in Illinois to the reunion. And I said, where are you going? She said, she's going to the Beyonce concert. I said, can I go? What are you talking about you going? And then they said, my reunion was waiting for me to play the sax. No, you got to stay here. And I was so mad. And then I said, well, how much are your tickets? She said, $35.
What?
There was not $5,000, Sherwin.
Didn't nobody go see Beyonce? Did she perform at Soldier Field?
Yeah.
There was no way those tickets are $35. Listen, man, you can't even watch Beyonce on TV for $35, man.
It's way up there probably at Soldier Field. And I had my expensive binoculars to see Beyonce. So it probably was tickets for poor folks like me. That was $35, sir. And I was so angry. But I played my sax 4 to 8 minutes every hour from 11 o'clock to 6 or 7 o'clock. And then they wanted me to play a song. And I said, no, I played all this.
Who were you playing for?
My reunion, it was about 40 to 60 people there in a park in Illinois.
What reunion was it? A high school reunion, a family reunion?
Family reunion. And they didn't act like Sherwin acts like, he's gonna fall, he's gonna sue. I'm not suing nobody. I got Medicare anyway. And he's too old, he's awful. They always wanted to hear the sax, You know what I mean? And another thing, I found out that you play the guitar. And you said you would not play with Bob because he would be an amateur. Man, I would tear your behind up if you invite me in there one time.
Nice try.
At 11 o'clock on a Monday.
Nice try.
And then you bring your guitar.
Nope.
Z brings his bass.
Nope.
Carrie sings.
Nope.
Listen, you can say nope all you want. You ain't the only one that enjoys me playing. Because you say nope and he's going to sue. He's going to fall.
Keep messing with me, Bob. Keep it up. No. Come on. Don't stop now. No. Come on. Keep messing with me. See where that's going to get you.
I couldn't help but mess with you, man. You're such a great.
I've been leaving you alone, Bob. You lost your arm. Don't lose your mind, too.
I can't help but mess with you, man. And then we have Z, and then they'll judge how better I play than you, because I'm gonna wear your behind out, and then at the end we're gonna let Carrie sing, we're gonna let Z play his bass, we're gonna let you play your guitar, and then you need a song. without the voice, but the music, and you play along with it so Carrie can sing. And that's all. So, I just gotta, I gotta, let you know, I used to be very, very good. I got one arm now on this saxophone, but I would tear your butt up. Other than that, then I'll talk to you later. And, one more thing. I went to the dictionary, and I can't find these words that you're now saying. Poontang, jaw-jacking. I don't know what them words mean. Help me out, man. The dictionary got 2 or 3 definitions. Make a dictionary, because you can these, and there's other words, man, that your new generation is coming out with that I don't know, jaw-jacking.
Well, here, so I'm going to give you a definition, right? I'm going to give you a definition of both of them. So jaw-jacking is exactly what you're doing right now. That is what jaw-jacking is. And poontang is something that you're not going to get. So that's all the definition that you need, Bob. I want you to have a very nice day, okay?
Talk to you later.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right now, Bob. See what I deal with? Trying to have a serious radio show and talk about things of importance, local and national significance, and I'm over here defining poontang. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. Broadcasting live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall inside the Grand Avenue Mall on the 1st floor and sitting behind a window. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's time to see what's poppin' with Melanie Ricks.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks, and it's time to see what's poppin' with today's Pop Culture Report. So I feel like it's April Fool's in July, except this is not a joke. Twitter is officially dead, and in its place, a new name and logo now live. And the name and logo? X, as in the letter X. So Elon Musk, he followed through on his promise from over the weekend in which he told everyone that he would be officially rebranding the popular social media platform that he took over this last year. He has completely gotten rid of the familiar white bird icon and the blue background. Moving forward, Twitter will now be known simply as the letter X. His new CEO is a woman who goes by the name of Linda Yaccarino, and she put out a series of, do we even call them tweets? I don't know, we'll figure it out. But she put out a statement on the social media platform to introduce the new rebrand. I know you're probably wondering, okay, where is this coming from? But believe it or not, Elon and co, they've been leaving us breadcrumbs from the beginning. In fact, the group of investors that came together to buy the social media platform called themselves the X Corp. So low-key, they've been trying to tell us all along, but what I find very, I'll say ironic is that Elon's CEO, and him for that matter, stated that the new X is going to be powered by AI. However, it wasn't that long ago that Elon was talking highly unfavorably about AI, even going so far as to call on a slowdown, if not a full-blown pause, because he thought it was too dangerous. Gotta love when the kettle calls the pot black. Am I right? We'll see how this goes. I'd like to think it's an experiment. Get it? Experiment. But knowing Elon, these changes are here to stay. So I'll catch y'all over on Threads. And that's what's poppin'.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let's see where we are with these text messages. You can text me too, 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Standard data message rates apply. All right, what's Shawnee Sean says? There's a saying, mothers raise their daughters and love their sons. Oh, that's so true. I have become keenly aware of the competition that exists amongst women. Believe it or not, women compete for men. See, y'all over here thinking that men compete for women. No, we don't. Men, a lot of times, are just pursuing sex. But the top level desirable men that have all of the traits that women are looking for, tall, dark, and handsome. So tall, dark, and handsome is a black guy. So we're clear, right? And that's the standard. Y'all know that black men are the most desired men on the planet. We can't help it. So when there's a man who's tall, well-built, attractive, smart, good with money, respected by his community. For those of you that are into this, he loves God. He's perfect. He doesn't have any kids out of wedlock. Right? He's a protector. He's a provider. He's charming. He's funny. I don't think there's anything that goes further than a sense of humor. You make a woman laugh, it's over. She's done. She can't even. Once you hear that, time to go home. Let's go. Women will compete for him. Because they want. They're hypergamous. Women want the best they can possibly get. And I think on some covert level, mothers compete with their daughters. Because the mama remembers when she was that age. The mama remembers when she had a body like that. The mama remembers what she looked like before she had kids, before she had this daughter. And now that daughter is the younger version of the mother. The mother will never be that ever again. And the daughter currently is that. And there's competition amongst women. Women have said the most vile things about each other. Seriously, like men don't do that. Men will just fight or kill each other, or generally will avoid one another. Right? Men that I don't like and men that don't like me, like we don't want the confrontation because it can be dangerous. We just avoid one another, and we still keep it respectful. We just say, I don't mess with dude don't mess with me. We're all good. But women will be just, oh my gosh, it's terrible. And how do I know this? Because guess who women confess their disdain of other women to? They confess to us. That's right. We know about that girl you work with. We know all about that heifer. We know all about it. It's just, I don't know. And I think it translates into society in general. Because I don't know if women would vote for a woman presidential candidate. We know white women strayed and went for Trump. And they very well, in lesser of a number in 2024, but I think they're still going to vote for him. Shawnee Sean says, my mother washed chicken for years and nothing ever happened. She lived to be 80 and my dad lived to be 89. 7 children are still alive today, beating many odds, I'm just saying. So it's not going to kill you when you spread bacteria all over your kitchen when you're splashing water on the chicken. The only time that I don't even know if my mother washed the chicken. I can't remember. I have soaked chicken in the sink to thaw it. Because thawing frozen food, chicken in particular, chicken wings specifically, in cold water is different than if you put them in the microwave, because then they partially cook when you try to. I've never liked the defrost setting. You take that meat out the freezer, you put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days, or you soak it in cold water to defrost it, because you don't want it to start cooking as you're defrosting it. But then I would bleach the sink when you put the chicken in the sink. But yeah, washing your chicken, that goes back to slavery time. It's not necessary because the water is not, so bacteria doesn't die with water. It's got to be boiling or over 200, 300 degrees, then bacteria starts to denature. So when you cook your food, when you cook your protein, when you cook your chicken, that kills the bacteria, but also know it's psychological for us. You got to think about this. You're eating dead animal flesh. You're eating the carcass of a dead animal that used to cluck. It's dead and it's cut up and chopped up. And you think washing it is going to do something? It's not. I want y'all to watch a movie. Can you watch a movie for me? You got, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Watch it this week. Watch it this weekend. Try to make some time to watch this movie. And then on Monday, we're going to talk about it. And you need to watch this movie if you eat chicken. And who doesn't like chicken? You guys eat chicken. Now, I used to be a total vegan. It didn't really work out so good for me. On occasion, I'll eat meat because, I mean, you just got to have it. Now, I don't buy meat. I don't buy animal protein when I go to the grocery store. That I do not do. But if I'm at a place, you know what I mean, and they're known for their steaks, I'm going to get a steak. But I do not purchase nor prepare animal protein in my home. If I eat animal protein, chicken, fish, whatever, I go to a restaurant to eat it, right? It limits how much of it I intake because it's not good for you. The movie is called Super Size Me Part 2, Holy Chicken. I'm going to repeat that. It's free on YouTube and free on a whole bunch of different apps. Super Size Me 2. I want you to watch it. Kyle, is this who I think it is on line one? What is he doing? Why is he messing with me? I want you to watch it. Because if you eat chicken, I want you to see how the chickens that you eat are raised. And I want you to see the filthy and deplorable conditions that they are in. I want you to see how they inject these birds full of hormones because we like large chicken breasts. Well, they engineer and manufacture those chickens to have abnormally large breasts, so large, in fact, that as you're watching this movie / documentary about where our chicken comes from, the chicken farms, and not to mention the debt that the chicken farmers are in, they're never going to get out of debt. It keeps them overproducing chickens and going into more and more debt because the big corporations that process the chicken that you eat and that you buy at the store and that gets shipped out to restaurants require these chicken farmers to have updated equipment. You got to use this kind of feed. No, you got to upgrade your facilities where you're going to have to borrow more money. You can borrow the money from us. You're going to be paying interest on it. So they are constantly producing this chicken, and the chickens have to be larger and larger and larger. You ever see a chicken wing that's so big, like the drummy, where it looks like an actual drumstick? Yeah, that's not normal. So these chickens, their breasts are so inflated that they fall over. They die. They have heart attacks because their legs can't even hold them up because they're engineered to produce these breasts that we love to eat when we go to the Popeyes and the KFC. So you need to watch it. I know you don't want to watch it, but we're so far away from our food and how it's grown and how it's produced. Like, you need to see it if you're going to eat it. It will change your mind. It will not change how almost perfect a KFC original recipe chicken breast is. Pretty close to perfection, but you can't eat that stuff every day. It's very bad for you. It's awful. Who's these people in front of my window? Who is that lady? All right, who is that? There'll be some people coming through here now, Kyle. It must be some groupies. Daphne says, but after you wash your chicken, you should spray inside and around your sink with cleanser or bleach, just saying. I'm saying you don't need to wash the chicken. It's just a habit that doesn't do nothing but spread bacteria. That's all it is. But I ain't going to tell you not to wash the chicken. I just want you to know where it came from. And here's the thing. It's not going to, salmonella is not going to kill you, right? A lot of times the body can just naturally fight off that bacteria. Other times, like you ever just like, you'll get a stomach ache. You'll get diarrhea. And you'll think, oh, it's something I ate. Yeah, it's because bacteria from the chicken you washed splashed all over your silverware, and that's how you got sick. Or if your body is fighting off salmonella or whatever the other bacteria is, thousands of germs and bacteria on raw, uncooked chicken, what'll happen is your immune system is fighting that off, but then you won't have enough T cells to fight off like a cold or strep throat or the flu. See what I mean? So you'll get sick in a whole bunch of different ways. And depending upon your compromised immune system, you can get really, really sick. All right, what's Dion got to say? This will be interesting. Boy, I hope you washing your chicken, Sherwin. Don't be spreading that BS. I soak my meat in vinegar and salt. Dion, I bet you do. White folks are mad because they believe that they are being targeted by reverse racism. Avery Shelton says, people should read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. That novel is the blueprint for white preservation philosophy. Ayn Rand is also a famed libertarian. Congress Kurt says, I took a meeting for a contract yesterday for a company in Pewaukee. I knew within 5 minutes of meeting the manager I wouldn't get that contract. Old white guy wouldn't even shake my hand. He was dripping with racism. Send a white representative next time, Congress Kurt. No, seriously, it'll make a world of difference. You got a black-owned business, you got to hire some white people to be your tokens. The restaurant, it's closed, and I'll use it as an example. It's called the Melt House Bistro. It's long closed. It was on the street called Kenilworth. So if you're going east on North Avenue, Kenilworth is a little side street that you turn off of. It goes southeast, a little side street, Kenilworth. You know where Beans and Barley is? It's a street right to the west. No, what direction is that? Yeah, the southwest of Beans and Barley, a little side street. And it used to be this place called the Melt House Bistro. And they had gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. That was their thing. Really good bread, like thick Texas toast, and all sorts of grilled cheese sandwiches. But you also could get like chicken parmesan on your grilled cheese sandwich. They just made really good sandwiches with all sorts of different cheeses, and they had soups and potato salad and coleslaw. A very nice restaurant. It was big. It was airy, very well appointed, very comfortable restaurant. A good little lunch spot, okay? Learned about it many, many years ago from Derek Mosley, who literally is Milwaukee's #1 food critic. So he said something about, I think Derek might have been on the radio with me talking about the Melt House Bistro. So I went to the Melt House Bistro, and it's fantastic, but Derek told me a little secret about the Melt House Bistro. He said, Sherwin, don't tell anybody this. I said, I want to tell everybody about the Melt House Bistro. He said, no, that's fine. Tell everybody about it, but don't tell people that it's black-owned. I was like, well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to tell everybody it's black-owned. Because if you have a perception or a stereotype of a black-owned business, especially a black-owned restaurant, this place shrugged every stereotype about a black-owned restaurant. Let me give you one stereotype about a black-owned restaurant. I'm going to say it because it holds true all too often. Black-owned restaurants can be fantastic. The hospitality can be wonderful. The service can be good. It can be inconsistent, but the service can be good. But you're going to wait for your food. Do not go to a black-owned restaurant for lunch. You'll get fired from your job because you won't be back until it's time to punch out. But the food will be fantastic. And then you think to yourself, as you're eating the food at the black-owned restaurant, like, this is worth getting fired for. The way they executed from where you order to where you wait, and you get your food. The food was always excellent, always very well prepared. So it was an African-American man and his wife that owned it, but all the staff you saw were white. Bunch of college kids, really, from UWM. They would bust the tables. They were cleaning up. They took your order. Even when you look back, because they had an open kitchen where you could see the people in the kitchen, it was all white people. But then every now and then, once I found out, I was looking, I was like, I want to see traces of blackness. Like, where is he? And there was like an office with a glass window, a small glass window in the office. So you see little counters where they have the registers, and you have the selection of the chips and the little refrigerator with the sides and the sodas and all the things. And you look back and you see the kitchen. You see somebody back in there and making the food in the kitchen. And you see this office door with a little glass window. And every now and again, you see a black face just in front of the window in the office. You look around and then, boop, he disappeared. You see a black face and then, boop, he disappeared. Well, I don't know if the cat got out the bag or not. But the Melt House Bistro, which is a very successful restaurant, it was very popular, it's always very crowded for lunch, they closed down. Just mysteriously, which was really weird. So I said all that to say this, Congress Kurt. If you are doing business in a field where the majority of the folks also in that field are Caucasians and you're bidding and competing on contracts, send a Caucasian person to do the bidding for you. Take a break, come back, continue reading your text messages. God knows what the rest of these messages are going to say, but we're going to find out shortly. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, this is Sherwin Hughes, and we want you to join us for our inaugural Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 12th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School in Milwaukee. We're bringing the community together for a family festival that will have something for everyone. There will be live music, delicious food, financial resources, healthcare resources, and free haircuts for the kids. So mark your calendars for Saturday, August 12th to come out to our Truth Family Fest sponsored by Ascension, Wisconsin, Educators Credit Union, Hunger Task Force, and Associated Bank.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
Hello, I'm Tony Evers, the Governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. You have already made a most noble sacrifice. You shouldn't have to continue doing so. We are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's never easy to ask for assistance, but rest assured, we're here to help. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you. Call 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727. or visit vrapwi.com. On behalf of the state of Wisconsin, thank you.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I lost my 10-year-old daughter, Teresa, to COVID in just a few short days. Teresa was a healthy child who loved to dance. When Teresa got sick, I didn't think it was serious until she was rushed to the hospital. COVID and flu can be serious for anyone, but they're especially dangerous for communities of color. Please get your COVID and flu vaccines and stay up to date on all immunizations, because vaccines save lives.
To learn how to protect your family, visit vaccinateyourfamily.org/learn.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I feel so much safer knowing that we take security very serious here at 1017 The Truth. All right. So I read Dion's mess. What's Sheila saying? Sheila, Daphne, Shawnee, Sean, read you, Shawnee, Sean, about watching a chicken and everybody in the family living to be 80. It's not going to kill you. It's just not sanitary. I don't like eating other people's food. I don't. Oh, I don't. But it depends. If it looks good, I'll probably eat it. If I'm real hungry, I'll eat it, like potlucks and stuff. When people bring something, I got to look at the person. Like, oh, who made this? Oh, it's Susie over there made it. Well, let me go meet Susie real quick. If her black sweater is covered in cat hair, nope. Here's another one. Black folks chime in if you know what I'm talking about. Don't eat a woman's spaghetti. Don't. Kyle, you too young to know about this. If a woman who fancies you, gentlemen, black gentlemen, I guess white gentlemen too, if a woman likes you and she makes you a pot of spaghetti, unless you see her make it, don't. eat it. Text me if you know what that is. 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Kyle, I'm just stating a fact here. Kyle said, I'm nasty. Not as nasty as that spaghetti is. Sherwin, I want to cook for you. Oh, you do? That's nice. What you gonna make? Some vegan burgers? Oh. You gonna make some squash and some potatoes? Huh. Oh, you gonna roast a duck? I ain't gonna roast no duck. Okay. Well, what are you gonna make? Some spaghetti. But I only make this spaghetti for special occasions. I like you, Sherwin. I'm gonna make you my famous spaghetti, and after you eat it, you gonna love me. Huh? I don't understand. Yeah, but I hope you don't like it too much now, because I only can make this spaghetti once every 28 days. Oh yeah, look at the messages coming in. Y'all know. The white folks are like,
I don't understand. What is that? What is he referring to? I'm not sure what exactly he means, but I've had many people make me a spaghetti. I've had many spaghetti dinners. I had a spaghetti meal with a woman that fancies me.
Sir Chauncey says, I don't know what Bob was talking about, $35. The very cheapest ticket at Soldier Field for Beyonce was $125. And we know Bob was lying. Armour says, in response to whites becoming a minority / the future of the United States, I can see a war of languages in the future, English versus Spanish. Some groups of people may want to instill their values, caste systems, and beliefs in the United States as well in their communities. Some of those exist. Probably wouldn't be any better than it is now. So the caste system already exists. It's wealthy versus poor. And because so many people that come to the United States now and in the future already know English, I don't see us battling over any other language. As long as the dollar is still a top currency by which all other currencies are judged, English is always going to be the language of this country. But what you may see, every now and again, they resurface this idea of making a national language, and they want English to be the national language, just like we have a national anthem and national parks and other things that are nationalized. They may nationalize the language. And when they do that, that's just covert racism, making sure that everybody always speaks English in this country and that other languages are not welcome. Grant says, Hughes, if you're going off script, how about a Mitch McConnell update? We haven't heard from him in a while. Nice try, Grant. Professor Hughes, how fitting you wouldn't do a Mitch McConnell impersonation, so Bob did his Professor Hughes impersonation. I loved it. Brittany says, a lot. Wee makes me want to puke. Just say penis. I don't like the way that word sounds. Penis is vulgar. I'm convinced Bob loves confrontation. Well, he shouldn't. When you make a woman laugh, then she really likes you. Brittany, we know. We know when a woman laughs what that means. LT says the chicken thighs at Metro Market are so roided up and genetically engineered. They are 3 times the size of a normal chicken thigh. That's not going to stop me from eating them because they're delicious. In fact, I'm grilling out in a couple of hours. Then he sent a picture of some jambalaya tacos. LT, I'm convinced all you do is eat. When I win tonight's lottery, LT says, I'm going to start making plans to have the biggest benefit concert at AmFam Field, and we're going to get those lead laterals fixed. Well, I hope you do. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Thursday, July 27th, we invite all of Truth Nation to join us at the Broken Bat Brewery located in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward for a fundraiser to support the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Breast Cancer Care and Research Fund. Vivian King and I, Bailey Coleman, will be broadcasting live from the fundraiser as we help bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer. So join us Thursday, July 27th at the Broken Bat Brewery. That's 135 East Pittsburgh Avenue. From 4 to 8 p.m. to help fight for a great cause.
Experience the best in local food and drink at 3rd Street Market Hall. With 19 local food vendors, there's something for everyone and every appetite. Enjoy curated beer, wine, and spirits menu at 2 bars and on the patio.
Want more truth with Sherwin Hughes? You can now stream on demand all day, every day by downloading the Truth app or streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
We didn't know what to expect. We were just left in a hotel.
My mom was doing drugs in the house.
Tay and Brianna spent years of their childhood in homes that weren't safe. They were placed in foster care and longed for a permanent, loving home.
I didn't know what my future was.
I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was afraid of everything.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Brianna and Tay were adopted and now feel excited about their futures.
I'm studying to be a chef, and I really want to travel the world.
I'm going to be a mechanic, and I can focus on my career.
Right now, in the United States, there are more than 100,000 children in foster care, just like Brianna and Tay, who need a family now. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Ricks with your news update. 2 men are in critical condition after a shooting near Edison and Highland, near the Water Street Entertainment District. Milwaukee police say it happened just after midnight. A 23-year-old man and a 33-year-old man were both shot and transported to the hospital. They are in critical condition. Police are searching for suspects. If you have information, you are encouraged to call them at 414-935-7360. Or if you would like to remain anonymous, you can either contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS or through the P3 Tips app. Opening statements will begin today for the trial of a Wisconsin woman accused of killing and dismembering her sexual partner while high on drugs. Taylor Shabesnis is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault in the death of Shad Thyrian. The crime happened inside a Green Bay home last year. On Friday, a judge ruled Shabesnis is competent to stand trial. A jury has also been selected for the trial with a total of 16 jurors, 9 women and 7 men. Authorities say that Shabesnis strangled the victim with a chain during sex while both high on methamphetamine. Prosecutors say that she admitted to sexually assaulting and dismembering his corpse. The trial is expected to last 1 week. Black Arts Fest will return on Saturday, August 5th. Black Arts Fest MKE exists to celebrate the deep roots of African heritage and the creativity of Black cultural arts. This year's festival will be held on Saturday, August 5th from 12 noon until 10 p.m. The festival takes place on the Summerfest grounds, and you can find more information as well as purchase tickets by visiting blackartsfestmke.com. This was the news update on 1017 The Truth. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes continues next here on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let me take you to a place I know you wanna go. It's a good life. Hey, 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 yeah. I don't wanna stand around and beg you.
Welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Have we accomplished anything today? It's kind of all over the place. That's what radio's supposed to be, right? I try to make radio for people who don't like to listen to the radio. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. All right. Rodney says, washing your chicken is fine, but if you're splashing water all over the place like you're washing clothes, stop cooking altogether. Rodney, it's like little droplets. It's not like water is like splashing all over everything. It's little droplets of water. It's all this little, like with COVID, because COVID would fly on little droplets of mist of your spittle. That's all. I just want y'all to be safe. That's all. Vince, you are correct. Don't eat a woman's spaghetti for the reason that you stated, which I'm not going to read. Congress Kurt says, you're right. I have a white sister-in-law who will be handling my contracts moving forward. Thank you, sir. You probably even do better with a white man. Isn't that something where you got to hire a token white person to represent you at contractor meetings? But contracting is something that has been, like government contracting, has been wrought with racism since the beginning. Because you got to keep in mind the foundations of a city like Milwaukee. It was all white men and white companies that were getting hired to do like infrastructure work. So a lot of work to maintain a city's infrastructure, like our water mains and that kind of stuff. Sometimes city workers do it, but a lot of times the city will hire another firm. They'll contract out for like an underground pipeline firm to build that kind of infrastructure. And because government contracting is very specific, they have to put out an RFP, a request for proposals, or they put out a bid where you have to list all of the services that you can provide. You got to respond to the services that the city is seeking. And by law, they've got to take the lowest bid. Well, what they come to find out over many, many years, and quite honestly, 1.75 centuries, the contracting in the city of Milwaukee has gone to a few firms that have done a lot of the big dollar infrastructure work, like the street paving and all that kind of stuff. So they wanted to make it a little bit more equitable. Cities can't use race, but the federal government can. So the federal government can say, hey, we're going to do a highway project, a Department of Transportation funded project. 25% of this project has to go to black people and black contractors. The federal government gets to do that. Cities can't. Cities will get sued when they do that. So what the cities will do is they'll have like a DBE program. Y'all familiar with that? Or an MBE program or a small business program. DBE means disadvantaged business. We know that the D in disadvantaged business stands for minority, but you can't say minority because if a white contractor loses so much as a penny, they'll sue. And cities are horrible at defending themselves at lawsuits. They're awful. And so then you had an SBE, a small business enterprise. Typically, smaller businesses are owned by who? They're often owned by minorities. And here's the other kicker, women. Then you had an MBE program, which kind of skirts the line there, a minority business enterprise. But here's the thing. White women are considered minorities, which is weird because white women are the majority. There are 51%. So women, okay, are the majority. And then white women, because they're Caucasian and in America, they're the majority as well, but they qualify as a minority. So let's be clear about affirmative action since I'm on this tangent about contracting. Because I worked in contracting. I did contracting for the Department of Administration from 2004 to 2008. Affirmative action is going to hurt white women more than it hurts anybody else. They've been juicing that system. Ladies, you did not get into college on your own. What, Title IX? One of them, Title something. Oh, y'all going to learn real quick. Like, taking away affirmative action is going to hurt white women more. It's going to hurt black people. Kyle left the studio, so I can't answer. I don't hear me try to answer. Maybe he left the phone volume. No, he didn't leave it up. Oh, I can't answer. I don't know. Maybe I can answer the phone. Al just called. Kyle, do you pod up the phone when you walk out? Or I can answer my own calls? Okay. We don't got to screen my calls because they're just going to lie to y'all what they're talking about anyway. So
that's true.
Might as well just answer them. Where are we at here? Oh, I was talking about contracting. So they try to even the playing field when it comes to contracting. So here's what would happen. Here's what we saw. At the time, this is, oh God, almost 20 years ago, the biggest money grab is if you had a cement truck and you had a contract with the city of Milwaukee. At the time, the city of Milwaukee was spending $10 million on cement for different projects, for maintaining our buildings. When sidewalks are cracked, the city buys cement from these companies. And we actually had a relatively diverse core of companies that produce cement. I don't know if y'all realize that when you pave a city, that's all cement. And you got to maintain it because we have thaws and freezes and thaws and the cracks of cement and the sidewalks and they buckle and all this other stuff. So you buy the cement from these companies. We actually had a very diverse core of contractors that provided cement to the city of Milwaukee. Between cement and when water mains break, underground, Tim Michaels, his company had almost like this exclusive contract every time a water main break, and our water mains break all the time. You see when they flood, it's mostly in the wintertime because those water mains are 140 years old, some of them, and they break because it gets cold, they freeze, they crack, whatever. All right? So what would happen is we'd have these really strict requirements where if there's a $5 million cement contract or a $2 million or $500,000 cement contract, we would require that 10%, 20%, 18% go to a certified MBE, minority business enterprise, or disadvantaged business enterprise to try and level the playing field where some of these smaller minority businesses so they can get a piece of the contract. Because here's the thing, African-American, Latino, Asian businesses, they're residents of the city and they pay taxes like everybody else. So when we pay for these infrastructure improvements, that's taxpayer money. So taxpayer businesses, also minority taxpayer businesses, should also have at least the opportunity to get on these contracts. But these large companies, they could undercut everybody. They could sell their concrete and their cement cheaper than everybody. And so smaller businesses that have more overhead, oftentimes have bank loans they got to pay interest on, et cetera, couldn't submit these really low bids, okay? And so to prevent these large contractors, I've been getting these, different contracts for underground pipeline work and for cement and paving and fixing the sidewalks. They didn't want to lose a penny. What they did is they had their wives start, quote unquote, minority or disadvantaged business enterprises, and they would give the 5% to their wife's concrete or cement mixing company. Here's the thing. Their wives were nurses. Their wives were school teachers, but their wives got incorporated, got LLCs. And so when this $3 million concrete contract came out and the city released its request for proposals and its bids, you would sometimes have the white woman concrete company bid on the contract and she'd get the whole thing and her husband would do the work. It's the biggest scam known to man. Government contracting. You should check it out sometime. All right. Madison says, follow up to our previous conversation. LOL, I know what that means, but then he says he loves his girl's spaghetti. No comment. Al that texted in, not the Al from Sherman Park, nor the Al that calls. Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. It's probably a myth. I know back in the day, black women told me, even as a kid, Sherwin, when you grow up and if a woman wants to make you spaghetti, don't eat the spaghetti. Okay. You ain't got to tell me twice. You tell me not to eat the damn spaghetti, I won't eat the spaghetti. 414875 says, white males call it poontang. Must be a new term. Poontang sounds Russian. Sherwin, have you earned your Red Wings? You're disgusting. That's vile. That's subhuman. It's disgusting. I don't even know why I said that. I read the message out loud without first reading it to myself. What's your name? 414875. I need to put your name in the address book so we can avoid you. That's disgusting. You're a bad person for saying that. Never in my life would I ever do that's vile. That isn't human to do that, sir or madam, whomever you are. whomever I'm speaking with, 414-875. Oh, that's so, I'm sick now. What's wrong with these people? Is this my fault? Are these the kind of people that I bring to talk radio?
I mean, you probably earned them, though.
All right. I want to ask you. Here, I'll say it off air. Do you know what that is, Kyle? Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's disgusting. It's something that's adult. See, that's what it means.
I have not done that.
Don't ever do it. And if you do, don't tell nobody. Don't you do it. Ever. It's vile. Some of y'all are really messed up. Like, what kind of childhoods did y'all have that you think some of the things you do is okay? Rodney says, one should clean up after prep or cooking. Absolutely. Rodney says washing your chicken is fine, but if you're splashing water all over the place like you're washing clothes, stop cooking. Sheila is got a lot to say. What'd you say first, Sheila? Thank you, Sheila, for being honest. I'm going to read Sheila's comment and I'm going to take a break. She says, I love my daughter as much as I love my son. So earlier I was saying that when women have a boy child and a girl child, the moms love the boy child way more. And it's obvious. Like, they'll say stuff like to their daughter, like, I wish you were a boy. Why can't you be more like your brother? Your brother would never do that. And then the moms will say to their daughter stuff like, you look fat in that. You can't leave the house. They're just mean to their daughters. Sheila says, I love my daughter as much as I love my son, but I have to admit, I do like my son better. He's just easier to get along with. My daughter and I are too much alike, and my daughter is a daddy's girl. Then Sheila goes on to say, you're seriously killing me today. You're too damn funny, and I realize you're speaking serious subjects, but your dry sarcasm is hysterical. Then she says, you reap what you sow. On that note, take a break. Oh, look, Zach is here. Hello, Zach. Are you doing okay?
I'm all right.
Just all right? You going to make it? You only got about 45 minutes with me, so it'll go quick. Take a break, come back. I know I got to talk about Texas uses disaster declarations to install buoys and razor wire to stop migration at the border. I'm definitely going to talk about that. Also going to entertain your text messages, apparently on YouTube as well. You can watch the program live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. We've got a YouTube channel. You should follow it. And if you want to send us text messages, you can, of course, post comments in the YouTube comment section, and also 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth team is hiring. We are currently seeking a motivated individual who is looking to grow their career with The Truth as a marketing manager. If you have a passion for coordinating events, designing and executing sales marketing campaigns, developing teammates, and growing the Truth brand, then this is the career opportunity for you. Good Karma Brands offers full benefits with medical, vision, dental, and PTO. To join the home of Milwaukee Black Talk, visit goodkarmabrands.com/careers. That's goodkarmabrands.com/careers. Good Karma Brands is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the new 1017 The Truth Milwaukee Public School Athletic Alumni Spotlight.
Calvin Rayford, better known as Mr. Wisconsin Basketball of 91, became one of the best ballers out of Milwaukee. But before Rayford would live out his dreams, he would first have to create them. Rayford began right here in Milwaukee at Washington High School. Rayford would dribble the ball like no other point guard before him. After graduation, Rayford left Milwaukee and flew to Kansas. 4 years later, he graduated college with 155 points and a degree in criminal justice. He would go to play basketball for the next 7 years in Mexico, France, and Poland. Rayford would retire and move back to Milwaukee in 2007. He became a teacher and started a basketball camp to stay close to what he loves, the game and education. Calvin Rayford, always a Washington Per Golder and always MPS proud.
This has been your Milwaukee Public School Athletic Alumni Spotlight, presented by Gruber Law Offices.
One call, that's all.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh. 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes for Axe Housing. You should be tired of paying rent to a landlord when you should be paying yourself by becoming a homeowner. Many times you'll find your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. In fact, if you work with Axe Housing, the average is about $800 a month. Axe will have a coach on staff that can assist you today. They'll help you create a plan and a budget. They can even find more money for you for your down payment assistance. So you should be dreaming of home ownership if you're not already. You can get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on the Truth link at axhousing.org. That's ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially today get in the way of your bright future. Axe coaches are here to help. That's axhousing.org. The 1017 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by the UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Join us tomorrow as we celebrate Washington Park Wednesday's summer concert series. It'll be a night of live music, food, and fun. Join us from 5 until 8 p.m. in Washington Park. And lastly, we invite you to join us for our Thrive Through night at Broken Bat Brewery from 4 to 8 p.m. Our Truth team will serve as guest bartenders for a good cause. All tips and 10% of sales go to support the Frederick Medical College of Wisconsin's Breast Cancer Care Research Fund. The 1017 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by UW Credit Union. They are here for every you. And Truth Nation, during July, we want to celebrate the survivors of breast cancer and highlight their stories of fighting and thriving through their diagnosis. All month long, we hear about the journey of our beloved General Manager, Cherie Harris, and how she thrived through her breast cancer diagnosis and continues to be an inspiration for all. So join us Thursday, July 27th from 4 until 8 p.m. at the Broken Bat Brewery as Bailey Coleman and Vivian King host our Thrive Through special show live. And in addition, your favorite 1017 The Truth hosts will serve as guest bartenders from 4 until 8 p.m. to help fundraise for a special cause. All tips and 10% of sales go to support the Frederick Medical College of Wisconsin Breast Cancer Care Research Fund. Bartending is hard work, FYI. I make a good drink, though. I got a heavy hand. I got a strong pour. That's how you get tips as a bartender. I don't really tip on beer. I don't really drink beer, though. Beer is, I'm not a beer person. It's too fizzy, too foamy. It makes you too full. I don't drink beer like that. All right. What do we got? Here we go. From Eagle Pass, Texas. Wrecking ball-sized buoys on the Rio Grande. Razor wire strung across private property without permission. Bulldozers changing the very terrain of America's southern border. For more than 2 years, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott has escalated measures to keep migrants from entering the United States, pushing legal boundaries with a go-it-alone bravado along the state's 1,200-mile border with Mexico. Now, blowback over the tactics is widening, including from within Texas. A state trooper's accounts of officers denying migrants water at 100-degree Fahrenheit temperatures and razor wire leaving asylum seekers bloodied has prompted renewed criticism. The Mexican government, residents, and the Biden administration are pushing back, with the U.S. Justice Department threatening to sue Texas unless steps are taken Monday to begin removing the floating barriers. So I heard this morning that the federal government is suing Texas because when certain land the federal government has purview over and Texas does not have any legal right nor authority to put razor wire up in these buoys in the Rio Grande so that people can't cross. Look, I get it, right? Texas doesn't like people coming and flooding their towns from over the border. But this poses a danger to people, right? It could be an American child that finds himself or herself in the Rio Grande River, or someone that finds himself, near where this razor wire is, all to prevent migrants from coming to this country. Like, I'm not going to profess to know anything about immigration, but when I talk to people about, migrants that want to come to the United States, how mean-spirited those people sound. They're coming here for a better life. Could you imagine if they put razor wire up at the Mason-Dixon line preventing black people from moving north? Could you imagine that? I don't know how in the last how long we've been free. Well, not long. Say the last 160 years. See, this is why they don't teach black histories in school. Because we have forgotten who we are and where we come from. Were we not people in the South looking for a better life in the North, just wanting to come north for work? Black people didn't come to the North for the weather. However, let me just do a side note. I tell you, this global warming has had our summertime temperatures in Milwaukee very pleasant. Now, if you're in Phoenix, Tempe, Vegas, anywhere in Florida, you're going to die. So y'all are Texas too. Y'all ain't going to have to worry about migrants because everybody in Texas is going to be dead because it's hot as hell. But it's been a very pleasant summer. It's going to get a little warm the next couple of days, but we'll be fine. Lake Michigan acts as our little local air conditioner so it doesn't get too outrageously hot. But this summer has been pleasant. But how do we not see ourselves in people that want to come north from the southern border to the United States to work? And here's the crazy part. We need them. We need them. We got a labor shortage in this country because some of y'all don't want to do certain kinds of work that's necessary to keep the economy going. We need more people paying wages legitimately and paying into FICA, paying into Social Security, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but people are living long time. They're living to be Joe Biden age. People didn't used to live old to be old. They didn't used to live to be Joe Biden age. People are living so long that they're running for re-election to president at 80. When Social Security was created, life expectancy was like 68 years old. When you qualify for Social Security? 65. You got it for 3 years. That's it. Now, you paid in for many years, but you died after you collected for 3 years. So it created, obviously, a huge surplus. Well, now you got some people. Can't you collect Social? No, I think it's 65. You can't collect it before that, can you? Like in extenuating circumstance, I think you can get SSID, SSDI, the disability one. But you got some people that you got to work 40 quarters. So for 10 years. If you work for 10 years, you can qualify for Social Security. So you got some people that only paid into Social Security for 10 years, but they'll be collecting it for 40 years or 30 years. Or if your spouse dies, you collect their Social Security too. So we need more people, and we cannot get around that. You can't get around it. And y'all aren't having kids no more. That's another reason why the whole abortion thing is going to be illegal. So now when you're going to be forced to have the kids and you had the kids and they're going to be minimum wage workers paying into Social Security so we can supplement all the old people's income. Which is going to be my income too at some point. But how do we not see ourselves in them, especially you black folks that are Christian folk? We also got to be clear on this. So people from Central America and Mexico are Native Americans that were colonized by the Spanish. That's who they are. Like a Mexican is not a race of people. They're native people, just like we had Native Americans here. They were colonized by the Spanish. They speak Spanish. Now, they developed their own culture, but that's exactly who they are. It's basically native people wanting to move north on land that they have inhabited for the last 15 or 20,000 years. And we're so righteous, high and mighty in the United States, we don't want them here. Think about this for a second. Why? Why don't you want people to come to this country? Why? What are they going to do to you? What are they going to take from you? It's the people that don't have anything that do better when more people come that think they're going to lose something. You have citizenship. You screwed it up. You haven't made the most of it. You haven't taken advantage of your American citizenship. They don't have citizenship. In fact, their lives are going to be infinitely more difficult than ours. But they still want to come here, and we need them. We need the labor. We need the federal insurance contributions to our Social Security. The reason why we don't want them here is pure racism. So this is the interesting thing about us. We love to find somebody to hate. Black folks love to find somebody who we deem lower than us. It's why so many of us are homophobic and transphobic, because we finally there's somebody we can hate on, or we think we'll divert the white people. If we hate the gays, with the white people hating the gays, then we think the white people won't hate us because we're all hating the gays together. No, it's amazing how multifaceted hate is. Imagine a world where white people can hate us and the gays at the same time. Whoever thought about that? These people ain't coming over here to hurt you. If we're going to be worried about somebody coming over here to hurt us or to commit crimes, oh, no, we do that to each other. Like, we don't, if anything, we need more people of other countries to be able to have a pathway to citizenship. Because you know what happens? I don't know if y'all know this. So there's like homicides and robberies and carjackings and car thefts. There's a lot of crimes. I can use Milwaukee as an example, or any other American city. And you know who witnesses those crimes sometimes? People that are in the country illegally. Did you know that? They saw the whole thing. Oh, they could testify. They could be witnesses. They got video footage on their cell phone camera. They witnessed the whole crime. In fact, they were the only one that witnessed your cousin getting shot. But they're not going to come forward to the authorities with the cell phone camera footage that they have of your cousin getting shot. They ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna call the police and give a description of the person that shot your cousin. Why? Because we'll deport them. That's why. It actually is a disadvantage to our public safety if we don't find a pathway to citizenship to people that are in this country that, quite honestly, are gonna work a lot harder than us. When they witness crimes, they are less likely to report them, because their citizenship may come into question. And we would appreciate if they reported the crimes, but guess what they're going to get in exchange? Deported. So guess what they do? They don't say anything. They just witness the crime. I just find it incredibly hypocritical. And as much as black folks get mad about all the people that hate us and how unfairly we're treated, all we do is we turn around and treat those people the exact same way, and it makes no sense, because I can see so much of us and our struggle and our fight in them. They're a proud people. They have a language, they have customs, they have a culture, and they want to get away from a place that is just unfit to raise children, unfit to live. And a lot of it is Americans' insatiable appetite for drugs has given so much money and so much power to the cartels that those innocent people, those innocent children, they don't want to be there anymore. They want to come here where at least they get a fair shake because they can lean on their hard work. But no, you got Governor Abbott in Texas putting up razor wire like that. You don't treat human beings like that, because we have to be mindful of this. There is evil that can live inside of the human condition, and we have to do everything we can to check it. I thought the Bible helped. I thought the religion helped, but we could check some of our evil impulses. But if I tell you, oh, it's a migrant, it's an immigrant, it's an illegal alien, y'all want to kill him. Seriously. They were here before all of us anyway. In fact, we got a special relationship with the native people. Like, you think Mexicans are a race of people. No, they speak Spanish like we speak English. This was not our original tongue. We were colonized, and that's why we speak the language that we speak. They were native people. Some of them, they just moved. They kept walking south. They were in Kansas and North Dakota south, and they just kept walking south to Mexico. It was too cold in Kansas, so they kept walking. All of a sudden, the Spanish people came with boats. Christopher Columbus, what was he? He was Italian, but I think he sailed for Spain. He was a child predator. Did y'all know that? The Christopher Columbus? Oh, you didn't know that, Zach? Oh, that's the part of history they don't tell you. Christopher Columbus landed like the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Arawak people and the Taino people. He said, he wrote in his diary, I used to read his diary because he wrote about his travels, his adventure. I used to read it every Columbus Day so y'all could understand how much of a monster he was. He's like, well, these are just the sweetest people that we've ever met. They're so nice. They're so generous. They're walking around naked. They're offering us all sorts of gifts. He's like, they were very easy to kill because they didn't fight back. So the ones they didn't murder were killed with diseases that the Europeans brought. And then here's what ultimately they were trying to do. So they would steal the land from the native because they would kill them or they would die with disease. And then they would bring additional people over from Europe to buy the land that was now vacant because they killed all the natives. And then what people would do is they would start farms and plantations, and then we get African slaves to be the labor. Like, that's how the whole process worked. Okay. And so Christopher Columbus wrote in his diary, he said, when I brought these men over, I thought that they'd be much more interested in buying the land. And the currency was called a castellano. He was like, I thought that they would pay a bunch of castellanos for the land, but instead they wanted to purchase the company of 9 and 10-year-old girls. He was like, well, that was their preference, so I had no choice. I sold them whatever they wanted. So we brought them over here to buy the land that has now become vacant because they killed all the native people, and they were buying children. And Christopher Columbus, the mascot of Knights of Columbus, was a Catholic. And you wonder where the roots of pedophilia in the Catholic Church come from. You stew on that. I'm going to take a break and I'll come back. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Wisconsin State Fair deals end Friday, July 28th. This is your last chance to buy discounted State Fair tickets, bargain books, cream puffs, and Spin City riding game tickets before the fair starts. Plan ahead and save time at the gate. Buy your discounted State Fair tickets now at wistatefair.com.
Me to the Wisconsin, great state of Wisconsin, State
There's
Fair.
something for everyone at the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular August 3rd through the 13th.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no, 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 no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
We need each other. Now more than ever. Because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other. Because when we work together,
we can do so much more.
When we work together, we connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Together, we co-create, support, and sustain connections that lead to greater well-being for millions of children facing poverty.
Which also benefits their families, their communities, their countries, and you.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 24 countries to achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Governor Abbott, who cruised to a third term in November while promising tougher border crackdowns, has used disaster declarations as a legal bedrock for some measures. Critics call that a warped view. There are so many ways that what Texas is doing right now is just flagrantly illegal, said David Donati, an attorney for the Texas American Civil Liberties Union. Abbott did not respond to requests for comment. He has repeatedly attacked President Joe Biden's border policies, tweeting Friday that they encourage migrants to risk their lives crossing illegally through the Rio Grande instead of safely and legally over a bridge. The Biden administration said illegal border crossings have declined significantly since new immigration rules took effect in May. I'm just waiting for people to stand at the border on the Texas side and just snipe children. Because that's pretty much what it's coming to. So now they have razor wire. So next they're just going to shoot them. And I worry that good people will stay silent, because if you dehumanize somebody, oh, they're not a real person, they're an alien, they're an immigrant, migrant, they don't deserve to live. Like, come on, y'all. Like, seriously? Like, we know terror as black folks, but oftentimes have the least amount of sympathy for groups of people that 160 years ago was us. All we wanted to do was migrate north for something better, for something different, for something that was less treacherous, something that was less dangerous, moving out of Jim Crow. They're trying to move from a third world country that's overrun by drug cartels, that's capturing their children, trafficking their children. They want to get away from that. And the next safest place they can get to is the United States. I don't know, it was a documentary or something I saw that tracked a family from Guatemala to the United States. And, oh, ain't no way. No. Hopping on trains and walking through jungles with your kids, don't know if you're going to eat, don't have clean water, wearing the same clothes, just to come here. And here's the thing. Where they are must be real bad, because let me be clear, when you get to America, I don't know what kind of movies they watch about this country. America is not perfect. It's very messed up. There's many things that are terrible here. But they'd rather be here than there. So this, you get a lot of respect from me. Under the international bridge connecting Eagle Pass, Texas, with Piedras Negras, Mexico, protesters gathered at Shelby Park this month chanting "Save the River" and blowing conch shells in a ceremony. A few yards away, crews unloaded neon orange buoys from trailers parked by a boat off-ramp in the Rio Grande River. Jesse Fuentes stood with the environmental advocates watching the state troopers restrict access to the water, where he holds an annual kayak race. Shipping containers and layers of concertina wire lined the riverbank. The experienced kayaker often took clients and race participants into the water through a shallow channel formed by a border island covered in verdant brush that has been replaced by a bulldozed stretch of barren land connected to the mainland and fortified with razor wire. The river is a federally protected river, so by many federal agencies, and I just don't know how it happened, Fuentes told the Eagle Pass City Council. All right, what else is this here? They say something about this floating barrier. The Justice Department has warned Texas that the buoy wall is unlawful and the Biden administration will sue if the state doesn't remove the wall. Abbott tweeted Friday that the state has, quote, sovereign authority to defend our border after the Justice Department sought a commitment by Monday afternoon to remove the barrier. What if we just sold Texas to Mexico? We're always looking for revenue and just sell it. Like, I'm still offering Racine and both Kenosha to be sold to Illinois. But for some reason, Illinois doesn't want to buy. We would compensate the people very, very fairly. Just sell it. I mean, think about it. Other than Benjamin, what the hell is in Racine? Like, what's there? What? What was the last time you went to Racine for? Exactly. Nothing. What's in Kenosha? Nothing. Think about it, Zach. Zach, when was the last time you DJ'd in Racine and Kenosha? You had
probably like a year ago or two ago.
Well, you still could DJ in Racine or Kenosha. It would just be owned by Illinois. It would be Kenosha, North Chicago, Illinois. That's all it is. 414-875 says, here you go again with the Red Wings, man. Zach, I'm assuming you don't know what Red Wings are? Okay, well, I'm not going to define it for you. Kyle didn't know either. It's a generational thing. It's something that you earn. And you don't want to earn it, even though your generation is weird. Like, y'all do weird stuff sexually. I can't understand it. The most fragile, politically correct. Don't say that. I have 37 gender pronouns. You better respect my gender. That's your generation. I ain't got an issue with it. I mean, every generation is different, but y'all do nasty things. Like, y'all, how do I say this for a daytime radio audience? I can't. There's no way that I can say this thing. I mean, you probably do it. All the people in your generation do that. Yeah, you do. It's disgusting. And women do it too. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That, don't admit to that. You get E. coli from doing that. Like, you get real sick from that's disgusting. I don't even understand why y'all. Thank you. Don't do that. Man, they brag about it. Did you just say Ben?
Yeah, that's Benjamin. He brags about it.
Not on the air, he doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. So that's not nice. Marty B says, not the Red Wings, sure, when I'm eating lunch. All right, I'm going to take a break. Do I have enough time to talk about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis doubling down on teaching Florida students that slavery benefited African Americans? Like, how more disrespectful can you get? Why they keep messing with us? All we're trying to do is live, vote, make money, go on vacation, become a passport bro. We don't even really want that much. We want a little bit of reparations. I mean, $14 trillion is where we'll start. Like, we don't even want more than what we are owed, but they keep messing with us. Talk about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl Melanie Ricks from Nothing But the Truth, and we want you to join us for our inaugural Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School in Milwaukee. We're bringing the community together for a family festival that will have something for everyone. There will be live music, delicious food, financial resources, healthcare resources, and free haircuts for all kids. So mark your calendars for Saturday, August 12th to come out to our Truth Family Fest, sponsored by Ascension Wisconsin, Educators Credit Union, Hunger Task Force, and Associated Bank. At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
July is Thrive Through Month for Good Karma Brands, and we are proud to share an encouraging story from The Truth's General Manager, Cherie Harris, of thriving through her breast cancer diagnosis.
What got me through this time was surrounding myself with positive people and just educating myself about cancer and making sure I know like the do's and don'ts with nutrition, making sure you get an accurate amount of sleep, and reaching out to my physicians whenever there's a problem or question that needs to be answered. The more you know, the better you know, and the more active you can be or proactive about your health care. And so that helped me through this time. Now, this is silly, but I'm going to say I'm a foodie. What got me through this was just cooking, and just that brings love to me. That brings love to my family and some normalcy, right? And so that brought me joy, and just going out for walks, just trying to live my best life doing that, and making sure I say yes to going out and being around friends and hanging out with them and just being positive, because it is mind over matter. And I believe that the mind, the soul is going to help you do something troubling like cancer and recovery.
For someone who has a family member that's going through breast cancer or just any type of cancer, what are some things that you would recommend they do in order to be supportive?
I would say you don't have to make a grand gesture to let them know you're there. Sometimes a phone call just to check in, like, hey, how's it going? I'm here for you. Sometimes asking people what they need is stressful. Just give them what you feel they need, whether it's a blanket, a care package, a candle, inspirational notebook, anything like that is going to bring light into their life. It's going to bring joy to their life because it's a positive gesture. It's a loving gesture.
Support our Thrive Through initiative by joining the 1017 The Truth team on July 27th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Broken Bat Brewery in Milwaukee for a breast cancer research fundraiser.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, we want you to join us for our free and open to the public Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 12th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Riverside High School. We're bringing everybody together for a free family festival that's going to have something for everyone: live music, free haircuts for the kids, delicious food, healthcare resources, financial education resources, and free giveaways. We can't wait to see you on Saturday, August 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for our Truth Family Fest. The Truth Family Fest is sponsored by Ascension, Wisconsin, Educators Credit Union, Hunger Task Force, and Associated Bank. Ron DeSantis is not going to get the Republican nomination. I just want to let y'all know that I'm trying very, very hard to attend, to be a credentialed member of the media to the August 23rd, and if need be, August 24th Republican presidential candidate debate here in Milwaukee, but I don't think they're going to let me in the room. I'm a member of the media. They're working on my credentials right now, but I just have a feeling they're going to find a reason or an excuse why I can't be there. I got to be in there. I got to see it. It's going to be a spectacle. Now, they say Trump ain't going to be there, and Trump is smart not to go to the first debate. He's smart because all he would do is just take hits. So he doesn't need to go. And plus, I think he's mad. Fox News is sponsoring it. I think Trump is mad at Fox News. And if Trump isn't at the debate, the ratings will be in half. So Fox won't be able to make his money. They won't be able to sell nearly as many advertisements because Donald Trump is quite a spectacle. But I want to be in there. And I want to see how many black folks is in there. I want to see how many black journalists are going to be in there. I want to hear what they're talking about. I want to hear what the Republicans who are competing against Donald Trump have to say. And I noticed something. Let me talk about this DeSantis story real quick, and then I'm going to get back to the old Trump mess. Let's see. CNN reporter Kit Meyer questioned DeSantis about the curriculum during a July 21st press briefing, highlighting the portion that says instruction includes slaves develop skills that in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. That's a real rosy picture of an otherwise brutal institution. The governor quickly retorted that although he wasn't involved in crafting the bill, shaping the state's curriculum, he supports the scholars chosen by the Board of Education. He believes their historical version is fact-based and aligns with the Stop Woke Act, a new law his administration is using to counter Black history supposedly being taught in K-12 schools through the lens of critical race theory, which is a university-level discipline. So I hate when people say that. Like, oh, critical race theory is something that's, for colleges and universities. If there is a way of explaining Black history that colleges are using, or where, you got to pay tuition in a college, and if they got a paradigm or a program or a pedagogy and how they talk about race and the interplay of race in society, then you should give it to children, you idiots. That's why the rest of the world is beating us. Do y'all know how dumb we are as Americans? We're not smart. You think you're smart. You're not. We're not smart. Sweden's kids are smarter than our kids. Sweden's kids are smarter than American kids by the time they're like 9. They don't just make meatballs. However, the Swedish make a delicious meatball. Let me be clear. Let me not take that away from them. They make crappy furniture. I don't like IKEA furniture, but they can make a meatball now. But they're smarter than Americans. It's insane how we starve our children of resources because we don't want Black kids to get educated. So we starve everybody of the opportunity to learn. Now, there's some truth to this because Black men in particular, during the institution of slavery, were skilled tradesmen because we had to be. We then, in the post-bellum period, I think that antebellum is slavery. I think it's post-bellum. After slavery, we took our skills north and we wanted to work in industry. We wanted to work in factories. We wanted to be tradesmen because we had been trained in these skills since we were like 9 or 10. But that's when they formed a different type of organized labor called these closed shop unions that were closed to African Americans. So even if we learn valuable skills and trades in slavery, we couldn't get hired because they didn't want highly skilled Black men working next to low-skilled white men. And then when they did hire us, I read for like most of my preparation this morning was reading about Black men's fight to be recognized in organized labor. That's mostly what I read for like an hour this morning. And so then there were some unions that were like, okay, there's some businesses, some factories. They're like, okay, we'll hire the Blacks. But they paid us less. So they made it advantageous to hire Black skilled tradesmen because they paid us less. Then the white boys got mad at that. Like, well, that's not fair. You're not hiring us and paying us what we're worth. You're hiring the Blacks and paying them cheaper. Then the federal government had to get involved because we had a labor shortage during World War I because we sent a whole bunch of people off to fight the war. And so that is when Black and white labor forces finally were forced to come together and they could not be operating separately. It's a really interesting history. But at every step of the way, we were instrumental and influential in creating this country. And here's the problem. Nobody knows. Nobody knows about it. We don't talk about it. We don't discuss it. We don't teach it. Critical race theory is bad. If something was created in a college or a university, like, do y'all know that the technology comes from basically 2 places? Colleges and universities and the U.S. military, like that's where technology comes from. So if they come up with something new, informative, and that can be instrumental in instructing people and teaching people about history, whatever it is, then why don't we incorporate that, make it age appropriate? But why aren't we incorporating that in schools? All right, we'll talk more about this and God knows what else tomorrow. Have a great day. Melanie Ricks is up next.
Truth Nation, during July, we want to celebrate the survivors of breast cancer and highlight their stories of fighting and thriving through their diagnosis. All month long, you will hear about the journey of our beloved General Manager, Cherie Harris, and how she thrived through her diagnosis. On Thursday, July 27th, we invite all of Truth Nation to join us at the Broken Bat Brewery, located in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward, as our hosts will serve as guest bartenders for the night. All tips and 10% of sales go to support the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Breast Cancer Care and Research Fund.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Your willingness to share your stories with our community has helped make the Tori Lowe Show a 2-time First Place Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Award winner.
Hey, I'm tapping in for the Milwaukee County Jail. Yeah, man, they treat us real bad up in here, man. I mean, they had us sleeping in feces and urine. They took the batteries from us, told us there wasn't no batteries in stock. I ain't never heard that in my life.
We do this all for you, Milwaukee. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly